We are live here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel. My name is Tony Vicinda. I'm Chief Alchemist here at Plus One EXP, which is a weird little brand that's passionate about helping amazing designers find great players who love their games and amazing players find great designers whose games they can love. We do that in a lot of different ways, but the most fun way is sitting down with those designers to play those games with crews of amazing folks. And that's exactly what we are doing tonight with PICARO. I know a lot of y'all are familiar with PICARO, even though it gets excluded from a lot of the history books about gameplay. I am just hosting this stream, so I'm pretty quickly going to kick things over to our crew to introduce themselves. I'll probably audibly help work through that and make sure safety gets started, and then I will gently fade in the background, never to be seen again until we need me for some reason. But let's kick things over to our intrepid crew. Wife, let's start with you. Just to tell people a little about who you are, what you do, and about the game we're going to be playing tonight, since you are one of the creators.
Sure. Thanks, Tony. And thanks everyone for playing with us and anyone who's watching this. My name's Wythe Marshall, and I write and design games. I have a little publishing imprint called Stillfleet Studio. We make Stillfleet, Blister Critters, Danse Macabre, and a bunch of other games. And I wrote this one is a little different because it's a modernization of an existing game, as you all probably know. I want to take our same approach. We try to make really highly replayable, rules bright kind of games, and we use this grit system, which we think will do that, and you're going to hear about watching the stream. And we also take a kind of leftist political design perspective. So we liked the idea of this game from 1970-ish anonymous author about essentially robbing the rich, and just Don Quixote and that whole tradition of kind of wandering around being weird. So felt like a classic that could use a little punch up, and really delighted to work with Plus One on a zine version that's dropping at PAX next week.
Woo.
Awesome. Let's go around and meet our players, and hope I didn't scramble up everybody's position. No, just two people. That's the horrible part about Meet, when it accidentally opens up something in the same window. I'll get that fixed in just 1 second. But Jen, since you're in the right spot and you were the first one to log on, let's click over to you. Tell people a little about who you are, what you do, and if you want to be found online, where people can find you.
Oh, yes. Hello, everybody. I'm Jen Della Vega. I voice Vivian Lakewood on the Shadowrun podcast Fun City, and Mercus on Float City, which was a Stillfleet game. It was a lot of fun. What do I do? I'm a guest on a lot of TTRPG series. You might see me around. I'm going to be at PAX. Otherwise, I'm a chef based in Brooklyn, and I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. And if I can dox you mildly, also working on some brioche tonight.
Yes,
while
true.
streaming, like doing double duty.
Doing the bench proof right now.
So, awesome. Fabs, I think you hopped on next. Let's hop over to you. Same questions.
Hello, my name is Fabian. I am one of the producers over at Bad House RPG, where we tell intentional stories using the World of Darkness and other systems. We do a lot of decolonizing of the game, where we write our own our settings. Recently, we just finished our Sabbat game, which was Eternity in Jersey City, and we will be announcing some stuff soon for our Twilight Vigil line of games. Arthur will be a part of one of those, and yeah, we're really excited, and I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Super excited to have you on streams finally. You've also done art for a couple different things that have come out for Zine.Club, and another one that will be dropping in the next little bit, and have some other stuff in the works. So always excited to get to play with one of the folks we know. Oh, guess who just popped into chat? It's Adam Seats. We'll talk about Adam Seats later. We all know Adam Seats. Arthur, last but not least, tell us the details.
Hello. My name is Arthur. I also go by Werewolf BF. Anywhere you want to try and find me. That's where as in the question, wolf is in the animal, and the letters B and F. Generally speaking, I'm an actual play performer, mostly with Timbo the Wizard on his Twitch and YouTube. Coming soon, very soon, we're kind of finalizing assets right now. We're going to be doing a Silt Versus podcast that I'm going to be the keeper for. You can also find my game being sold with Plus One EXP. It is the Dying of the Light. It's a sort of melancholic custodianship of the night. It's got a lot of things going on, but it's very fun. It's a lovely night to spend with your friends, and I definitely recommend checking it out.
Awesome. Looks like we need to produce a zine with Jen, get everybody caught up and on equal footing. But super excited to have y'all here tonight. As the host, one last thing I just want to make sure as we hand things off is that everybody knows the safety tools here that we use on the channel. Those are, unless the system dictates otherwise, those are typically lines, fails, the X card, the O card, and the open door policy. Lines are things that may happen in the world of the game, but they don't happen in our play of it. They are off limits. They are things that we would be uncomfortable with if they came up. We always have a strong line against sexual violence and sexual coercion here on stream. Typically against transphobia, homophobia, and any other isms that might pop up also too. Veils are things that might happen in play, but they're handled gently or only approached within a certain capacity. So those are things that we are okay coming in play, but we don't necessarily want to dwell on. And then the X card is the ability to pause the game at any point in time to identify something that's bothering you, is confusing, or that we may need to use to update our lines and veils. Does anybody have any additional lines or veils they want to name? I think tooth stuff was on our lines. Do we have any other lines or veils we want to name, though? Cool.
We're good.
Remember, you can always use the X card at any point in time, and then the O card is just like holding up your hands or saying "oh yeah" or whatever it is, just to lean in and be like, "Whatever's happening right now, I'm into it, and we should do more of it." And then the open door policy means that we're all real people with real things going on in the world around us. If you need to get up and talk to somebody off screen real quick, pause, turn off your camera for a moment, go need some bread, anything like that. We want you to take care of yourself as a player here on the Plus One stream. And we want anybody who's out there watching to take care of themselves also too. So with all that said, unless anybody has any questions, I'm going to hand things over to Wythe to take us into the game. We also had a really great conversation beforehand, Wythe. So if you want to give people some kind of just awareness of the setting we're going to be playing in, then Fabs, maybe if you want to kind of kick in some of your comments on some of those thoughts. I think there's a great things that we talked about beforehand that I'd love for people to be able to hear, because I think it was a great conversation about setting and tone. So Wythe, why don't you give us any kind of things people need to know about the setting or any caution warnings, and then you and Fabs can kind of have a little bit more of the conversation that we were talking about right before we went live.
Yeah, for sure. And I think this will be great when we really kick it over to you to introduce your characters. And I think we'll learn a little more about who, the tone and the sort of reality through like who are our protagonists. But basically, this is the real world around, I'd say a little before 1700 for this one. But the idea of Picaro, like the classic game, it's set on Earth in the early modern. And the idea is you're Picaros, you're adventurers down on your luck who don't have a lot of money, but you have a score called infamy. So people know about you. And one of the things going on at that time, obviously, there's a lot of really terrible acts of essentially colonial, genocide and enslavement and things like that. And so these are themes that, can come up in a fantasy setting, and you can be intentional about and craft, really well-told stories about that are really deep. And you can lean into sort of more the madcap, down on your luck, small-time crooks, like fantasy adventure elements, Sinbad type of stories. And I think you see sort of mixes of that in some of the great stories that still hold up from that time period of kind of the beginning of the novel, and just like long rambling novels where like a lot of weird, I would say just like shitbags, like kind of live their lives through this age of empire. And you see the empires through their eyes as they're just like, man, I just need some money. So that was something I sort of asked the players, and Fabian had some really good thoughts about like what we might do, especially as an initial first AP that is, exegetic and kind of getting into like what this game could be for people who maybe heard of it and have never actually played it. And now PoE is putting out the new edition as it's just a light, a zine. So I don't know, Fabian, do you want to add, some anything to that?
I mean, I think it's very obvious to a lot of like players like me who generally play games and like to depict themselves like people of color or like anybody in like a marginalized situation. I think obviously it is a conversation at a table to talk about like, hey, what are like the realities of like this world? Normally, there's a lot of trauma in like the real world that we want to avoid. So it is really important to have conversations around the table of like, hey, there are 3 POCs here, and like, not that it's like a bad thing that like our GM is white. Maybe they need to, be more cognizant of like what they bring to the table and what they depict in this world. So like, for a level of comfort, depending on like what kind of table you have, I think conversations like that are important to games like this. And play however you want, include whatever you want, but obviously with everybody's consent is a very important thing to consider. So yeah, Picaro is a wonderful game. It is a fun game to play as like brigands down on their luck against like oppression. I mean, like, we are, a lot of us are fans of One Piece. Player One Piece fantasy in Picaro. But also keep in mind what your limits are and what your comfort levels are. Just have fun at your table.
Love it.
Yeah, really good note.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we could just play One Piece. No, next time we'll do One Piece. So with that, I think one thing that I would like to know from the three of you is who your characters are, and I think that will help inform the story we're going to tell. So we do have some ideas, but Tony, looks like are you going to be anything else you want to say before we just jump into play?
No, you're good. I had already muted myself and was just going to quietly fade into the background.
Love it.
Hey, Tony.
Okay, well then, who are our players? I don't know. Fabian, do you want to go first with sort of who your character is?
Sure. In the wonderful world of Picaro, you can probably play different kinds of characters. One of the backgrounds or classes that you can probably play is a thief. So that's what I'm playing today. I'm playing just a regular old cut purse who loves money, named Bowie. He has long black hair and a lot of very traditional tattoos of nets and fishes on his arms. Very tan skin, and just loves the sea and loves the sun, and yeah, that's Bowie.
And we love Bowie. I love the tats already. I'm enjoying picturing the sleeve of like early modern tats related to fishing.
Yeah.
So who else is going to be out and about with Bowie? Jen, do you want to jump in?
Yes, your boy Man Gang, like Wolfgang, but Man Gang. He is the dancer class, the Picaro Most Wild, a wilderness dweller, slayer of woodland edible beasts. Figures that the chef would choose this class, huh? He carries a bow and arrow. He's actually the very opposite of Bowie, who Mangang is a pirate of the mountains. He's a hunter. He's kind of pale for a native person here. Bald, tall, lanky, has a horse that he doesn't really ride because they're more equals. And he has a bird that is trained to send messages. Its name is Palasu. And he most iconically has red makeup swatched across his eyes and a snake scarf that is coiled above his nose and down the rest of his neck, like it's constricting him, but it's more of just his mask that he wears.
That's awesome. Also very evocative. We can, I think, all imagine Mangang and Palasu and Horse Friend, who's just the horse, who's just a friend. Last but not least, Artie, who is our third Picaro this evening?
Our third Picaro we see is a shorter figure. He is anyone on the island might think that he looks somewhat reminiscent to Governor Brand's son, but it's definitely not. He's so dirty and his hair's a mess, and it's very obviously not him. But his name is Merrill. His friends, if he has any, call him Mary. And he is kind of following behind the other two, counting things in his little bag.
Oh, Meryl. Oh, Mary.
And how old is Mary? Do we think roughly? Like, do we sort of picture Mary to be?
Mary looks like maybe he's like 8 or 9. He's a little guy. He's a little guy.
Got it. Well, let's introduce sort of the other character, which is the island upon which you find yourselves, which we will not, to the earlier conversation, necessarily go into. And the point of the game is to be a bit fantastical. All of the rich history, you can look it up, but it's an interesting crossroads at an interesting time. So you all live in the one sort of semi-permanent town on the island of Tortuga, which is north of Hispaniola, which is at this time, the island you're on is not really controlled by anyone. It's a pirate haven. So it is on paper controlled by the Spanish, the British, and the French. But in reality, it's controlled by pirates, many of whom are Dutch or English, basically deserters. There's a bunch of French people who think they're in charge but can't ever seem to be in charge. The Spanish attack every 5 years or so, and then some of them desert. And then there's a lot of people who were enslaved and then essentially are now free, and the descendants of them. So the island is really cosmopolitan in many ways compared to all of the other places around it. And it is a place with essentially the law of chill / who's powerful, who can like make something happen. So there's sort of crews of pirates. And they run this town more or less democratically and according to who can kind of pay or have favors. There's a lot of barter, as there really was. And your characters are Picaros. You're down on your luck. So you may or may not have really any money. I think probably on your character sheets, you don't start with any money. You just have infamy, your relationship with the community, and your ability to be like, no, I need that. Like, can you help me out? So you can roll your infamy die and sort of justify, if you succeed, like why someone helps you with the thing you need. So that is a kind of core mechanic of Picaro that we thought was cool and wanted to really surface in the new edition. So to start out, you're all together in the city. And I would like it if everyone could say a little about a spooky dream that you had, an omen that you felt, maybe something a little magical, maybe something a little portentous of some of the weird things that are going to happen over the arc of your next picaresque adventure. I don't know if anything jumps to mind. First thought, best thought. Could be an animal, a plant, just a moment in time.
I think I have an idea.
Sure.
I think Bowie dreams of being deep under the ocean, swimming in the reef, and just the darkness is surrounding him and is just silent and still until kind of like bubbles like appear in the corner of his eye, and he follows it as he swims deeper and deeper. He sees this giant clam and he opens it hoping for a pearl the size proportionate to this clam, and he sees like this object, this shape. He can't make out what it is, and as he grabs it, he wakes up.
Ooh.
Ooh. So an
I like
object
it.
within a giant clam. Very, very evocative. Where do you, and Bowie wakes up and it is dawn. And where does Bowie live?
Bowie lives just outside of town, on a hammock, strung between two trees, right near the beach, and is just a few steps away from the water. Has like a few amenities for himself, like a chair, a table. The table is not dirty or anything, but definitely Bowie's like diet of a lot of fish is evident, as like he uses it to just clean his catches, and like as clean as he can make it. Obviously some of the trimmings and inedible parts of the fish remain, or at least stain it. But yeah, that's where he just wakes up on a hammock, being greeted by the sunrise to his I guess his right side, as he likes to face the south whenever he no, the north whenever he sleeps.
Excellent. You awaken and something will happen. Where is Mary at this time? Awakening at dawn on the same day.
Mary lives closer to the docks. I think there's like, let's say like there's a sewer outlet, the kind of thing where he's been able to like find a little path that branches off and has like staked claim there. So it's like outside of the elements, but it is still not a terribly nice place. But he has a little setup in there, just like a little, honestly, fully just a nest for this little child.
So we have an open kind of ditch and some maybe overhang or something. There's enough structure, and you built up your little sort of lean-to and nest, and you wake up. What's the last image, just the last thing in your mind when you awaken?
He had this dream where he's kind of running down the streets of Port Royal and sees out over the horizon the green flash. And like that's the last thing he sees right before he wakes up, is that green light is kind of everywhere.
Well, just like a color. I like that. Excellent. You also notice something upon awakening. But first, Mangang.
Oh yeah.
Where are you?
Mangang wakes up with a start in a cave. He has a secret cave thicket up in the mountains, the northernmost inconvenient tip of the mountains, where it's colder, it's rocky, you can't grow anything there. He has just woken up from a strange dream where the town of Cayona was burning, and it sort of reversed. Like the town was burning and it sort of moved backwards, and the source was the middle plantation where all the tobacco fields were. And so
Great.
the spark is what he sees, and he just sits up and is like, what's that about?
It's almost like a Slaughterhouse 5. You move backward in time to see the origin of the sort of semi-abandoned tobacco farms just going up. That's great. You all awaken, and you can tell me, you all notice something, which is a screech, a very loud screech. It sounds like a seagull, but something about it catches your attention, and it seems a little odd and different than usual. I would go so far as to say, Mangang, you would know that this is not a normal seagull at all.
It's not, because he hunts a lot of birds and owns birds. And so he's like, that's not that's not a northern thrush. That's not a Ridgway's hawk, which is what he has. And he peers out of his cave to look.
The hawk is off. The hawk is going after this thing. Down at the docks, Bowie, you awaken to the screech, and it's much closer and louder. And you see, maybe out of the corner of your eyes, you're getting up from your bed, something large dive into your pile of fish bits and sort of take off. And there's fish bits trailing, but it's taken in one bite, like an enormous amount, like, just like this much, just fish bones and crap and crud. Mary, you hear it from a different sort of angle, because it's approaching you. Something is kind of in a muffled way now, like it's choking, approaching your little lean-to by the very, sort of by the waters where the sort of canal drags the waste down from the town. There's only a couple big streets, so everything just sort of drains down past you. And this thing sounds something loud is about to hit your home.
I think Mary picks up a plank and immediately is ready to smack this thing out of the sky as soon as it gets close.
Hell yeah.
Excellent. Do you want to give me our first roll? Do you want to give me a movement check to just like carefully, like not get hurt by what is basically a thing falling at you, a giant bird falling at you from the sky as it chokes?
Cool. And I'm trying to beat 6 on this, right?
You're trying to get a 6 or better, or else you might suffer a wound or more. And in this game, wounds are pretty precious.
Oh.
Oh wait, that's a 9. I was gonna say that's good. It's a 6, but it's actually a 9, so it's better.
Excellent. So you can like parkour up. I mean, you're nimble. And this thing just trashes some of your belongings, maybe not all of them, but knocks some stuff over and is sort of in the ditch, in the sewer down. And it's sort of half buried, and it's very odd. You can see wings, you can hear kind of the hacking of a bird vomiting up fish bones, but it is huge. It's easily 7 feet wide. And as you kind of are looking, you see that its back half is not bird-like at all, but sort of pantherine. And this is not a bird, period. It has the front half of a giant seagull and the back half of like a puma. And this thing is really fighting for its life with 50 pounds of fish bones sort of in its somewhere between its face and its belly. The Mangang's bird is tearing down from the mountains toward this thing. And Bowie, I don't know if you care, but you can easily follow this. Like, where it went based on the direction, for sure.
Yeah, I grab like a harpoon spear, wrap the rope around my waist, and start running.
Ooh.
Excellent. So you're arriving. Meanwhile, just Mary, you have a moment. Like, do you help this thing hurt it? Just back off slowly.
Yeah, I think Mary, I'm gonna use one of my first secondary class powers. I'm gonna burn 2 grit as I'm approaching this thing to try and calm it. Just say, hey, please
Excellent.
don't destroy my house.
It thrashes around, but sort of sees you and is choke. Seagull noise, subtitle. And it finally sort of takes a big gulp, and it looks harmed, but not, it's not dead. And it is thrashing around, sort of righting itself, shaking off just, gross water, and sort of appraising you. If you're using the power, you're using tame, or sorry, which power is this? Yeah.
Yes, tame.
Excellent. Then you tame it, and you can begin to try to sort of befriend it as sort of a pet or companion, depending on, its intellect.
What?
But it is tame for now. It is not attacking you if you're not attacking it. So it just regards you. It's sort of a predator. I mean, it's a seagull in its mind, right? It's just it's a 7 foot long seagull. Eventually, pretty soon, Bowie would arrive. Jen, is Mangang kind of running down toward town, following your Palasu?
Yeah, Mangang is following Palasu in the sky, jogging alongside his horse, who is named Pana. So Pana and Palasu, yeah.
Excellent. Horse and runner. You're like racing your horse. I feel like you lose a lot, but that's cool. You make it to town. You all make it to the same area. I think at this point, I'm just going to turn it over to y'all. Do you know each other? A. And B, this being, we'll call it a griffin for ease of, it's a seagull griffin. It does have, it is harmed, and it you can sort of see as it turns around, it's been shot. It has a bullet wound in its back right leg, and it's kind of limping a little. It seems like it tumbled, not at random. So let me know if anyone, talk, and also if you want to make checks or use powers. It's just kind of nursing its wounds.
Yeah. Does it help if I have common herbal remedies?
Do you want to try to heal?
I do.
Sure.
Love.
I'm gonna, like I'm approaching a velociraptor, got the hands out, just slowly tiptoeing, bowing my head, I'm around wildlife all the time, so seeing if it trusts me and wants to let me near it. And I'm just holding the herbal remedy like it's in a little sachet, and I'm just like, hands slowly.
Jen, why don't you make a charm check to essentially tame this animal without using a power here. You're just sort of, hey, I'm chill.
Yeah, I'm so chill, y'all, because I got an 8.
Excellent. I was going to give you some help there anyway, because Mary has already, befriended this. So the animal does not feel particularly threatened in this moment and allows you to treat its wound. If you want, you could roll reason to see if you can kind of tell anything about the nature of the wound. I mean, it's clearly looks like a bullet hole.
Definitely. That's a 4.
It's somebody shot it. I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
really what you could have told from. It's not like CSI, right? You're just like, I don't
Mhm.
know. It's a bullet. Do you all know each other?
Oh, I definitely know Bowie. I trade furs and things for fish. Things I cannot get in the mountains.
I feel like I also know Bowie. Bowie might be the cornerstone of this trio.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that like I know both because of the trade, and I think because being neighbors by the shore, me and Mary definitely have crossed paths before. And yeah, I think when Bowie gets there, Bowie is just angry because like those fish bones, fish guts, basically is bait for other fish. So it's
Quite a
like
catch today, huh? Look at that.
it's like I was gonna be mad, but this looks exotic. This looks delicious.
I don't care if you
Delicious.
eat it, just don't break my house.
No.
It's worth nothing to no one if it's injured, though.
I mean, just get the rib meat. The rib meat should be enough. Like,
You ever had meat from a cow that was happy?
I don't know what a cow is.
You know, that thing that pulls the plow the field sometimes.
Yeah, I don't really go inland mostly, but yeah.
This thing is looking out at back over its shoulder. Suddenly, it's a little alarmed.
Yeah, like
It's
I've
looking out to the water.
I've had spooked tuna before. Yeah, the meat gets pretty tough. I get it.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But I look out to the water. Do we see anything approaching?
Yeah, roll will. Everyone can roll will if you're looking around, sort of following the train of vision of the injured griffin.
Got a 3.
3.
Terrible rolls.
You just see waves. You're looking out at the canal that separates Tortuga from Hispaniola, and it's big. I mean, it's quite wide, and you just see the waves that would normally be happening at this time. It's a clear day, so there's not a ton of activity beyond. Maybe you see a couple fishing boats. But yeah, this thing is staring now at a sort of spot on the horizon, in the water. And it's starting to back up and sort of looking at the sky, looking at itself. Its wings are wet. It's still injured. It's not afraid of you all, but it seems to be making that sort of animal decision tree. You can sort of see its thinking in this moment.
You see, if we take care of it and then try to sell it, maybe I think we can make a ton of money.
True. Where did it come from, though?
I don't know. Do you ever ask when gold is dropped onto your lap?
I mean,
yes.
Well, I don't, but also if the gold looks like a fish and whatever that is and points over to its hind legs, I start to ask questions. Yeah.
Sure. But I think we could make a pretty penny.
True.
Excuse me.
I look at the wound and clearly a gunshot. I've seen skirmishes before, I would assume, between pirates and like I was about to call them the Marines. And like, can I differentiate what pirate firearms would do to whatever the authority is.
Yeah, maybe roll reason or will, whatever's higher, as you just give it this thing a real close
Reason.
inspection.
Yeah. Roll 3.
I mean, the more you look, the more it's just, it's a standard, it's not an atypical size for a bullet. There's all kinds of bullets and they all look kind of the same.
Yeah.
But you definitely notice that it's following its body language. It's worried about something coming from the water. When you do look, there do seem to be sort of more bubbles than usual. It's almost like there'd be a school of fish out there coming closer. But you're thinking maybe it's not a school of fish.
Huh.
And then you see something cresting the water, and it looks like sort of a waterlogged flag. And it looks like a small boat that is completely underwater is now coming up, breaking as the waves are still lapping over it. And at that, the animal, the griffin, begins to back up, and it looks like it's going to try to, at least for now, run and then maybe fly away when it can. But it's leaving. It's going the other direction.
I whistle to my bird. Palasu, guide it home. Like,
where do you want the bird to take the griffin?
To my cave.
Great. I don't think you need a check for that, but I think you might have invited a wounded animal covered in shit water to go live in your house. So that happens.
It's well hidden in the mountains.
Absolutely. It's running through town, and it's fast enough and it's early enough. It's the crack of dawn. So there are some people sleeping off the night before. A lot of people are out at any given time. This is not a very well populated area, and many people live sort of on ships or in encampments, kind of hidden, because they are literally professional buccaneers for different powers. It's like, I don't know, it's like, you can go metaphors about like gangs and armies today and stuff, but they're not like necessarily good or bad as much as they're just sort of living on their own with guns. So this town is not like a real large town. So it just speeds past a couple people washing laundry, a couple people getting up feeding animals. They all look, they're like, what the? We see that over and over again as it runs up toward Mengang's home. Meanwhile, this underwater small boat, small military looking ship, I should say, rises out of the water. And you see that it has very long wooden and iron legs. And it is walking, not terribly quickly, but steadily, like a horse trotting, through the shallows onto the beach directly toward you. And the flag that it bears is essentially complicated graphic design that does not match any flag you have seen. It looks like a horse with like a gem shape with maybe it's just like some exclamation points and stars. Whoa. Just like a lot of adornment on there.
Yeah, Mangang is gonna walk to the edge of the port and just I don't know, whatever whatever wall is right there against the water. And he just goes, bonjour, hola, and just waving his dirty ass hat. Bonjour, hablas español or français or...
Great. You're at the stone wall that there's a hole in it that the waste can flow out of, and you're just sort of waving at the ship as it approaches you. It's a couple U's taller than you are, but not gigantic. And it stops at the wall, and a little hatch in the top opens. Someone's going to come out. What are Mary and Bowie doing?
Bowie, do you recognize that flag?
I don't believe so.
I don't think I do either.
I see that many symbols, and that tells me that we shouldn't be here.
I see the quality of the craft, and I see there's money.
Yeah,
around.
That's what Mangang thinks too.
Okay, I believe you. Okay. And Mary's just gonna kind of scurry out from the ditch, I guess.
So you all are
just three dirty people
crawling out of a ditch. Yeah.
I might do something different. I'm gonna use a secondary power, which is vanish.
Ooh.
And I'm going to approach, kind of like circle around, go into the water, and kind of like see if there's a way that I can get on the craft
Wow.
from behind.
Excellent. So you're an expert swimmer. So you're like vanished in the water, swimming kind of spy style, classic, like underneath this ship that is kind of standing half in, half out of the water at the seawall. Do you want to give me, I guess, probably a will check to just get a lay of the land with like what is, you know, what do I sort of sense as I'm swimming around?
That's a 1.
Oh.
Oh no.
Would you rather just normal fail and you lose your vanish, or do you want to learn something useful but maybe take some wounds here, Fabian?
So when I take wounds, so on my thing it says wounds 8. I subtract from that, correct?
Yes.
And then when it goes to 0, I'm just dead.
You're just, well, you get to, there is a kind of death save mechanic here where
Okay.
you roll infamy.
There's like 3 rounds of it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can be sort of a protagonist who's just like, nope, not yet.
I mean, what kind of player would I be if I didn't want to learn something?
There we go. Let's go.
All right. Let me roll. Okay. It's 2 wounds.
Okay.
So
Down to
you could
6.
tell me the underside of the whole thing has some sharp bits. It has not fins, but just like
barnacles and metal and yeah.
Yeah, it has projections. So I think even though you're an expert swimmer, this is an odd duck. It's not a normal boat. You're not going underneath a ship that you'd normally see in the harbor. This is much more like you can imagine like a Captain Nemo-esque submersible with like some sort of involute, you know, spiky bits. And you are cut either, barnacle, some, you know, some sort of ray, whatever, that's natural or on the ship. And you're bleeding a bit, but you realize something, that there is a powerful, however you would describe it. So I'd actually like to know how we would describe this, but a magical resonance, that this is something that a sort of, you would say a witch in game terms, but you can think of a wizard, an alchemist, a natural philosopher, an engineer, someone has created using magic. And this is possible. Possibly, one of the most sort of rare, important things you've ever seen. I don't know how, you know, buoys lived up to this point, but this thing is worth a ton of money. And I'll give you some advantage on a future check to sort of learn more about the situation.
Okay.
But yeah, you're in the water bleeding a bit, but we'll say still vanished. And yeah, the hatch opens. A couple sailors pop out. They're in extravagant uniforms that again don't match anything you've seen. They're just really nice. They're almost closer to like just beautiful silks, like something comfortable, but they are tailored to be sort of vaguely uniforms. And eventually they go back and pops out a very large man with a very large horse's head, wearing a very refined, you know, bright green blazer with a big overflowing celadon, you know, lighter green ascot. And he waves and says, "Bonjour, allo," and then in various languages, you know, asks what day it is, and where am I?
Do I know what day it is?
Sure. Yeah. I don't know. You could roll for it.
Well, I know. I just tell them the day. Tell them the month and the season.
Oh, great.
You are at Isla Tortuga.
Okay, great. That's wonderful. So, okay, safe. Great. We're safe. That's what we thought. This is what we thought.
Is someone
we
coming?
need to make repairs. Well, we need more than that, actually. They sort of have, you hear murmurs from below. He says, I'm in charge. And this man fully gets out and is standing on his boat. And he's very large. He's very tall. He's got a huge horse's head. He's got a fine rapier, dueling pistols. And he introduces himself as Jost de Groot, Jost the Big. And he is the captain of this vessel. And he's like, he'd like to know who he's talking to.
Oh, Mangang got the biggest ass like cheater smile, like it's twinkling. It's like "Pagi problem, no hay problemas." You know, just saying it in every language. Like, yeah, I could take care of you. And he's got his hat off on his chest, and he's like, come in," as if it's his house, but it's not.
Quick question. The horse's head. When he speaks, does the horse's head speak, or is it a mask kind of deal, or is he a horseman?
A horse person.
Great question. He's one of the rarest species introduced in Picaro, which has this odd flavor of it has elves and dwarves, which are across the world. Every culture has some idea of like the little people, right? The elves, the dwarves, people in the underground and in the woods. There's also horse-headed people called G-Trash or G-Trash, who are just people with horses' heads. And as drawn by Hodag RPG in the zine for +1 XP, it looks like they would speak normally. I'm picturing like a BoJack Horseman style interaction,
Oh hell yeah!
where this is the only sort of animal human that is in the game. There's also Halush, the legally non-distinct hobbit halfling type, and Fetch, who are sort of like shape-shifting little gray aliens, sort of doppelgangers, right? Who are spirits of the city. So this is one of the rare, like Fetch, the Jai Trash are pretty rare. It would be very odd to see one, but it's thought that they're made by witches essentially, and they don't really have memories, so they sort of just wake up adults. Large humans with horses' heads. So this guy's talking to you. He seems very normal. He sounds from his accent Dutch, but he speaks all of the languages of the region. And he's asking for help. They need to make repairs on the vessel, which he gives it a name in Dutch, which translates to the Groot Gulp or Big Gulp. And he also needs to hire some help for an unrelated task. So he asks if you're interested either in repairs, if you're very advanced, like you've studied, and he lists cities you may or may not have heard of. He might be making them up, frankly. Or if you're interested in another task that is not that, but he gladly will pay for help with either. Or just food. They need like water, and they need like resources, right? To resupply. So he's just talking. And I know, I'm sorry, Fabian, Bowie is still hidden. So you can decide if you want to enter the scene at all. You could just be listening from below.
I'm just listening from below.
Got
Yeah. I'm letting them do a lot of like the interaction.
Mary is standing so sweetly with the biggest eyes behind Man Gang.
Yeah, we can help you with whatever you need. Whatever you need, you call on good old Mangang.
Great.
And this is Mary.
Oh, hello,
Hi.
hello, little child. Why are you okay? You maybe should step back, little child, from the big gulp. It's big and sort of sharp. Also, we just had a bit of a problem causing the need for the repairs. We needed to put to port anyway. I need to hire a crew, and this is good. This is the place we're looking for. Maybe not the exact place, but the island anyway, I think. But we had a problem. There was a cloud, a whole flock of these animals, and they're very sharp, you see, and they eat quite a lot. And they harried us. We were fishing. We had surfaced and were fishing, and they harried a couple of my sailors, and they're injured. So I don't know if you've seen one, but I wouldn't go near them. They seem foul-tempered, but very beautiful animals, but very large. And he just describes the griffin, and that there was a flock. He claims in the hundreds. You get the sense this guy says a lot of things, but he claims they just fought like a tornado. He describes like a Sharknado event of these, and somehow his sailors, one of them got slashed one time, and they fought them all off.
Oh, sure. We saw that big thing. I saw it fly off towards the Ringo over on the west side of the island.
Oh, okay, good. So we're safe here. Yes, we're in the middle, not the west. Okay, yeah, we're good.
So safe. And Mangang winks over to Mary.
What's wrong with
totally
your eye?
lying about the direction it flew in. Yeah, totally.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, we're gonna buy some supplies, and maybe you can help with that, Mr. Mangang. And also, we would like to find someone who's good at tracking things, finding people, and that is much more important, actually. We can do the repairs, and we can buy fish, salted fish, anywhere. But we really need to find something very specific that was taken from us. So if you know anyone who's has the time and the inclination, we're pretty sure it's on, with Tortuga, this island. So it would be helpful if you know people here, or you're from here, actually. I'm not really sure. I don't mean to presume, but he's just sort of rambling.
Well, you good old Mangang knows their way around this whole island.
Oh, good.
I hunt every animal. I clean and eat every animal. So I can sell you some beef jerky. And he opens...
Just a jacket full of jerky.
Just a jacket full of jerky.
It's just his jumpsuit. And he just, as you see his top half of his body, and it's just beef jerky against his body.
I like to think it's leather. It's like really nice, like supple leather, and then the inside is more. It's jerky, so it's just all. It's a lot of
It's
like
different
skin.
flavors of jerky.
Yeah.
the whole thing's edible. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can find anything on this island.
Okay, great. Well, all right, then I think we're going to stop here, and we will. We're going to go back below the water because sometimes people have a strange idea about stealing a ship that walks rather than sails. It's very slow. I'm telling you, it takes us forever to get anywhere, but it is powerful because people can't see us. So we're going to use that advantage. So please don't tell everyone to come look for us. We're going to walk a little bit away and hide. And then we are going to come on the shore and be very nice to meet you. If you want to meet up again in, say, 10 minutes or so, half an hour, I don't know, take it easy, and discuss the matter at hand.
Yes, just meet us at the tavern. It's in the only street we have.
Oh, Street. I love Street. Yeah. Great. Before we jump cut, I think, to this scene, do you want to do anything else? And I'm especially, Fabian, thinking, does Bowie want to do anything about the fact you were invisible, have heard all this? You sort of are seeing how this works. You're holding your like bleeding like arm or whatever, but
I want to. I think I'm imagining like I have like a lot of rope from that harpoon. So I'm going to dive a little further, place the harpoon down there, and tie the rope on one of the things, like one of the fins maybe of
Yes.
this craft, and like make sure like secure like the harpoon and just come back. So I know I can like easily track where this thing is.
excellent.
And then I just like appear, like I probably appear as like they're leaving, and then I get back to my friends over here.
I'll just yell like, "Oh boy, how was your morning swim?"
Oh, I got cut by the reefs looking at the horseman.
It's rough out there in the reefs.
Yeah, it is. Bye.
Excellent.
Like just not even like acknowledging, like pretending completely that I've heard everything that they were talking about earlier.
Exactly. Well, you hear they're playing like a fife song that Jost wrote as the national anthem of his nation of like 12 people from underneath, from inside the boat. And the big gulp begins to, they lower the hatch and seal it, and begins to lower again. And it begins to walk off slowly with half steps through the low waters. And you can tell they're headed west, and you can follow it, and we'll say you can find again whenever you need, as long as it's parked here. Basically, you've set it up however you would do this underwater. You've set up a series of little buoys or other means to sort of track it using your harpoon and long rope. Do we want to jump to you're comfortably at the inn, dried off, the inn and tavern, and sort of all-purpose place where people are going to meet up, and during the day you can get a hot meal basically, and lots of other services, right? People are coming here to essentially have shellfish shucked and to sell each other kinds of fish and to really trade intelligence and debate religion. There's like a bunch of different versions of Christianity, and there's a lot of native beliefs and sort of syncretic beliefs happening. So there's like a lot of candle buying and selling. There's a lot of stuff about horses, not a lot of horses on the island, but very important, and some cows, maybe off in the farms.
That's a cow.
Oh, okay. That's
A lot of pigs.
It's a shorter horse.
Oh, I was gonna say a bigger pig.
Bigger pig.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Those both work.
Jost walks in, accompanied by no one, wearing all the same stuff, but not looking too worried, not too ostentatious, but also not really worried. Just nonchalantly sort of plops down, orders a beer. It's like 7 a.m. or whatever, but beer's like 1%, whatever it was, and orders some food, plate of food, and sort of finds you and asks, looking basically at Mangang, what's up, and do you want to talk about a possible job?
Yeah. What do you need found? And he gets closer, next to the candle that's on the table.
He looks very surprised. Yeah, he buys a couple candles too, just to be like, sure, who doesn't like candles? He's looking at a child and also someone he wasn't really introduced to. So I think maybe he stares for a while and stares at Bowie and like extends a big hand.
These are my associates.
I kind of like extend the handshake, but also was imagining hooves. So I'm just like not grossed out, but kind of like this is unsettling.
You wanted more horse. Yeah. No, I think I think they're just like huge hands. But yeah, the head is very horse-like, other than maybe the mouth is a little different. Yeah, he introduces himself and he isn't really sure what to make of the child, offers you like some of the plate of food. Just sort of like, is that what a thing you do for children? You offer them food to eat? Go for it.
I think, yeah. Mary will just start eating and it's just like, yeah, I'm a talking in the middle of it. I'm a finder. I know every single pace of this island. And is just stuffing his face.
And you were born here too, just like me.
Oh, great. Well, what I have to ask is a little bit sensitive. So he's looking around. Nobody's really paying much attention specifically, but they are clocking that he's here. He's an outsider. He's a relatively rare type of person you'd see in general with a horse's head. And he asks if we could, finish up eating and go just like take a walk, just go somewhere and people aren't going to follow. And you can kind of point out places in the island.
Yes, of course. Whatever you need.
Great. You're walking and talking. Joe Stigroat asks if you are familiar with ghosts. Like how familiar on a scale of 0 to 100? What's a good number to choose as the end of the scale? It doesn't really matter. We have 0 to another number.
Are you talking about nice ghosts, bad ghosts, friendly ghosts, family ghosts? Those are the worst.
This would be just one bad one. I mean, there might actually be others around here, but probably one bad ghost.
Do you know this bad ghost personally?
No, not personally. Been dead a while, but I come into possession something related to the ghost that might be able to summon the ghost, and the ghost knows something that I would very much like to know. However, I've lost this item that would allow me to do the summoning. So I'm very curious if you could help me recover the item. And if you could do that, I would pay you some money. I'm pretty sure the person who took the item normally is living here on the island, but somewhere out there, and just sort of gestures to everywhere that's not the one port.
Do you suspect anybody?
Oh, yes, I know. It's a man named Henri the Ferret. He's a French thief. They call him the Ferret because he can wriggle into a building and steal from it. I think it's a metaphor. Maybe a simile.
Do we get like flashbacks of like wanted posters and like we know who this person is infamously?
This is a great question. Why don't you? You could actually roll infamy. I think would be a fair. You all start with a D8 infamy. You're well known, and in theory, you probably know others in the community. So if there's a new guy who's a thief in town, you might know who this is.
I got a 7.
Great. You've met Henri the Ferret.
We've traded secrets.
Yeah.
We've talked shop.
The young, handsome Frenchman who's living with a woman named Delphina, who works in the tavern, and he does not live in town. He's very rarely in town. He's sort of reclusive, but he's known to be a thief, and he never steals in the island. He steals. He goes off island with brethren of the Cays of the coast with different buccaneer crews, and he comes back. But he's really an expert burglar. And he has a sense of taste, but he's lost a lot of money, gambling. He owes a lot of people a lot of money.
Oh.
So you haven't seen him in a while, I think. But yeah, he's been here before. You've seen him around town. You've met him.
I don't say this out loud, but I go, we might know where this guy is.
Oh, great. I don't know where he is, but I think he took what I need. So if you could just get it back for me. I'm not a vindictive person. I don't require a duel. I simply want the object back.
Is it a big object, a little object?
It's in a jar. Imagine a jar with a thing in it that's it's like a hollow, sort of just a soft sound it would make. And it's a steel jar. And please don't open it. Just take the jar and you bring it back to me.
How do I
That's it.
know it's the correct jar?
It'll be the only kind of oldish looking sealed jar with some strange symbols on top.
Oh.
And you might even feel a bad feeling when you approach the jar. Just don't open the jar. Don't look at it too long. Maybe put it in a sack or something.
What kind of ghost are you planning to talk to?
What? It's just a ghost who knows interesting things. I'm an interested collector type of a person. So do you want to use a power, or do you want to roll charm to like either intimidate or befriend
I don't
Joseph?
really have a power to that would correspond to getting truth from him, but I would, let me try and charm him.
Yeah, go for it. It's gonna roll will and kind of resist, giving away too much information here.
I rolled a 7.
That beats what I got. He opens up a little conspiratorially. What is your approach? What is Bowie's approach? Is Bowie like, charming, intimidating, some other strategy, like trading
very
information?
relaxed, friendly, like guys at a bar kind of like attitude. It's like, so what kind of ghosts are we talking about? There's like a lot of ghosts. There's a lot of ghosts, like a lady in white, a drowned captain, a ferryman. Like there's a lot of ghosts. What kind of ghosts are we talking about?
You can tell he really doesn't want to tell you, but when you say a drowned captain, he looks, and as you're walking down the street, you pass the stables of a little house where a few people live, and there's a horse, and he looks at the horse, and the horse looks at him, and you can see like he's like, kind of gives the tell that it's 100%. This is a captain. This is a ship laden with silver and gold. And he can bring back the captain who knows where all that was stored, basically, before this guy died. And the ghost is dead. The ship, who knows? The crew, who knows? But the treasure, he can get it, but he needs something to get this ghost to come back from another plane, wherever it rests or is tortured. I mean, again, he doesn't go in. You don't know that he knows or cares. He doesn't give any information away about that. But you can tell he believes he is maybe a little bit of a necromancer. I also make cheese.
Yeah,
And beer.
Will you trade this cheese? Sorry, go
Jen
on.
just
No, I was like, I was just gonna say, like, as he has that tell, it's like, oh, dead captain.
Yeah, maybe something like this. Yeah,
Yes, there's a lot of dead captains. Do you have a name?
Yeah, I do. Look, it's not really that important, because this thief who stole it maybe didn't presumably know what it was and just saw strange symbols, bad feeling, took a bit of a risk. But the person's name was Nicholas de Rook, and Nicholas was a captain who had a lot of money from some different sources, from robbing a few different other ships. And we don't know what happened to the money, but we know Nicholas de Rook died a very miserable, bad way on this island, in fact. So all I need is the item that you're going to get back for me, hopefully, and I can bring back de Rook long enough to talk to him. And there you go. Then my dream of an independent Justlandia will be born. And you all can be citizens if you want. It's perfectly fine with me. We'll need lots of people.
Do I connect the dot that that's his DIY flag and like his own song that he had?
100%. You might have already memorized part of the song, because it's like Justlandia. It's like the simplest possible. It's like a Dutch nursery rhyme.
I just start humming it, and I'm like, I want this for you too. Na, 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 na. I just started humming "Oh Canada."
Yeah, exactly. I know in my head it's "Oh Canada" as well. Yeah, so that's, he's like, okay, there, that's kind of all I know. You know the same thing, but again, if you bring it back to me, I'll pay you just actual money directly, so you don't have to do a bunch of hard work with ghosts. It's very annoying sometimes. Ghosts are very tricky, finicky. It's like when you're making and he's trying to think of the right. He's like looking at Bowie. He's like looking at fish tattoos. When you're making a fishing thing to get the fishes to bite it, and you have to do it a certain way or they don't bite it. This is like ghosts. Metaphor.
Okay. I look at Mary, kind of like eyebrow raised. Like, what do you think?
We would be so glad to help you find your jar.
It's just a jar. We can find a
It's a
jar.
jar.
Yeah, it's just a jar. Any jar.
Awesome.
Can you tell us what's in the jar, though?
He is not going to tell you what's in the jar unless you use a move or make a big old roll or something. He does not seem to want to give more information about the
Yeah.
situation. He just wants this jar back, and you know the guy already. So, or actually, I don't know if you said you might know the guy, right? So he's very excited. He trusts Mangang. He just like trusts that you look like competent.
Dirty and competent.
You had beef jerky right away. He was hungry. You immediately had beef jerky. So, but yeah, Arthur, do you think Mary has a way of kind of getting more information here, or do we want to, just go with what he's given you?
Mary is so ready for the next step because he's like, I know I can find this guy, but he doesn't want to give it away too easy that it's like, oh, I think we could find this guy in the next like 2 hours, easy. And so Mary's like, well, it might be difficult, but I think we could find a jar for sure,
Well, thank you, child. I appreciate your enthusiasm for adventure. Maybe a little young, but who knows? Different people grow at different rates. You might be just very capable.
I'm younger than I look, actually.
It's a weird thing to say. He says if you do this, he will give the three of you to split up however you would. He can afford to give you a mark, basically a check worth about 500 pieces of silver, which is a fortune. It's a vast fortune. And that is what you need to get him this jar and not open the jar and not break the jar, not tamper with the jar, not try to summon ghosts with the jar. He explains all this sort of in legalistic detail.
500 pieces of silver insured by Justlandia. Just want to double check.
Bowie is just hearing, just open the jar. Someone goes with the jar. Like the word "don't" does not register.
100%.
Yeah. Mangang's already imagining a conversation with Henri, like, are we gonna open the jar?
We just gotta get this guy out of here. We gotta convince him that we're set. We're so ready to find his jar, and we're so on the same page.
Yes, exactly.
Excellent. Well, he's convinced. You're convinced. So he will shake on it and view that as a contract, and they're gonna stay around. And some of his crew, some of the navy of Justlandia will be in town occasionally and basically be looking out for you. And whenever you want, you can just kind of find one of them and subtly let them know, like, hey, we have the jar. He has other things they have to repair, they have to resupply. He might have other tasks. He asks if you need anything else otherwise, like, go to it and the money will be yours. I am good for it, clearly, when you bring me that jar. And then he sort of is whistling as much as a horse head could whistle, which I might be a number from 0 to kinda.
Little upsetting.
But he's whistling his own.
To think about
his own theme song. Sorry, Jen, if that gets toward teeth, we can veil that. It wanders off. Yeah. What do you all want to do? You've just kind of taken a job here.
Yeah, just yell after him. Enjoy Tortuga.
As that's happening,
yeah.
Mary turns to the group and goes, "So we're gonna open the jar,
I'm
right?
open the jar.
Oh, we're
willing to drop
for sure
1,500 gold pieces or silver pieces on just getting the jar. Like, we're gonna open the jar."
Yeah, if he really wants that jar that badly, we need to know what's in that jar.
I wonder if Henri knows anything about this jar. He had to, right?
Totally. Let me. And Mary puts his little hands up to his head and just starts going, ah! And then I'd like to use Alienation Born, spend 3 grit to actively search out the feeling of a specific person. The GM must tell you which direction they are in, though not how far they are.
Because I can do something else after this too, if you want.
Wow, I love this, and I love that you're just like standing in the street and you're like immediately like
just start yelling,
like, yeah, like let me find this jar. Arthur, when you use Alienation Born, I'm going to leave this totally up to you. It doesn't say, do you think it gives off any signal, or like, does it look weird? Does it sound weird? Or is it just like a child like yelling and thinking?
I think, God, this is awful. I think the first moment where he kind of yells and it's almost kind of like a magical echolocation. I think if anyone were looking at him as he kind of makes the yell, they would see that his skin ripples. Kind of like it's a little loose.
Is this something that Bowie would have feelings about one way or the other, or know anything about? And if not, like, Bowie sees this, right? And like Mangang sees this, but then stepped off. But
I'm totally up to it. If Bowie would like to know that I'm a fetch and this is not a surprise, I'm okay with that, just because I feel like we're both just kind of people living by the beach, whatever
Bowie's
happens.
from Tortuga. Bowie asks no questions.
Great. So sometimes your neighbor is an orphan, and sometimes your neighbor is an alien impersonating an orphan. So in this case, maybe the latter. Right?
If I did not question a little child living on their own by the side of the beach, there is no reason for me to question this right now.
Touche.
Oh God, what happened?
So when Mary does his little magical echolocation thing, that first initial shout, you would see his skin kind of ripples, maybe like it's a little loose, just for a second when that first scream happens. But I don't know if you have ever met a fetch before, but
No.
yeah. So you just see this weird thing happen to this little kid.
Yeah, so that is like a clue, Jen, for Mangang, that like Mary is not a normal child. Let's just say that, like, right, skin rippling, like it can kind of come off and change. Arthur, Mary feels very strongly, like you said, it's echolocation. You can sort of see this object of Henri the ferret on the island, and you can tell he's north into the lowlands that are it's mostly going to be sort of low forest cover. And he's nowhere near town, but it's also not that big of an island. So you could, go there in a couple hours.
I think he's north, kind of not totally towards the North Shore, but I mean on that way.
Can I also use track?
Yeah, 100%. This would be a good time to use track.
Yeah, you're giving us a direction, but I can be more specific because I can target Henri himself.
Excellent. In this case, do we think there probably are clues in town? Do you go get those clues? And if so, do you have a thought of what that would be?
Absolutely. I go right up to Delphine.
Great. Delphina is asleep. You hear snoring.
Oh.
From upstairs in her room.
It's not daytime?
It is daytime. It's now, 7:30 or so, whatever it is. It's in the morning.
It's really early.
It's early. She stays up late.
I see.
Wakes up late.
Delphine. And I'm like outside the window throwing rocks.
You hear from the second story of the tavern a loud snore arrest and sort of change into a cough. And the window opens and a woman's head pops out. She's adjusting hair and, shawl. What? Hello?
Delphine, I need to make a delivery to your, lover.
What? A delivery?
Your man. We traded some things, secret hush-hush thief things.
Roll charm to convince her that, what are you delivering? Beef jerky?
She don't need to know that.
Jerky? No? Yeah, sure.
Let's see. I got a 7.
Great. She sort of looks around and you can tell she's nervous, but she feels like you're doing a solid, right?
Mm-hmm.
For Henri, and you don't know anything. So she just is like, come here. And
Of course. We don't want anybody to hear about my business, right?
Right. Actual whisper, not just stage whisper, but just come up. I'll come down. You here. She puts on boots.
We meet in the middle.
You meet in the middle. You're in the tavern. You go off to a corner. She tells you that Henri came back from a job recently that was going to be a very, very lucrative job, and seemed very worried. And he almost, she describes almost like a rotting flower smell, like he smelled off. She had a very bad sign of this, and she dreamed of just almost like a wall of green overtook her dreams that night. He spent in the tavern, and then he was off the next day. And he's in a certain cave. It's near where you live, in fact, and he's been hiding. But it's further toward the shore, and it's actually a cave that links up with the sea. You know the cave. You don't live there, but you know what it is. It's much like, it would be much less comfortable. And he has been staying there alone, and no one knows this but her. And she's told you because she thinks you're going to deliver a big old oilcloth full of like beef jerky and biscuits, whatever. Like she's imagining something.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Do you want me to bring him anything? Do you have any messages? Besides
Yes,
hope?
but they are too risque to tell you this early in the morning. Just make something up, you know.
Conversations between lovers. Love it.
Uh,
And I wink at you, and I'm like,
she sort of waves off, laughing, and says thanks. You know, she says merci as she goes back upstairs to smoke an enormous hand-rolled cigarette and then fall asleep again.
and I burst back out to Bowie and Mary, like, to the north.
Excellent. Crew, do you want to just start heading off? This is the wild, but this is Mangang's domain.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, Jen, do you have a sense of how Mangang leads the group out of town,
I
up
think,
the highlands and down into the lowlands?
yeah, I think we're gonna swing by both of your hammock and your ditch. Like you're gonna need some foot wraps. You're gonna need more than that right now. It's a hike where I live.
What if I were to kind of grab a bunch of clothes and disguise myself? Do you think I'd be able to drop my face without causing a check for the other two?
Absolutely. I think if you bundled up so you look like a child who, even though it's pretty warm, I mean, it's like the autumn, but it's not cold, but you're bundled up, and no one can see you, then it's like E.T. being bundled up. It's just like a kid in swaddling. It's
Totally.
the moment of like, oh, that's not a child, that's E.T. That's the problem.
Or do you want to check for
problem per se.
disguising myself? Okay.
No, I just think it's like a physical thing. Like as long as you're like, I'm just like a child who's cold for some reason, then you're fine.
Totally. Perfect.
It does get a little breezy in the mountains.
Or smoke. I don't know. It's just you really want to cover up. So
Yeah.
you set off after you gather whatever equipment you need. So I think at this point we'll try to sort of track stuff, but I think you have whatever is on your sheet, whatever you think you would have for this journey, except we can't bring those 50 pounds of fish guts up the mountain.
When Bowie hears that it's going to be colder, he takes out this piece of cloth and puts on a vest. Just a very flimsy vest, barely covering anything, but it's like better than nothing.
Absolutely. You're all geared up. You feel appropriately, maybe a little hotter than you think, but hey, you're gonna go up a little bit. You travel. Why don't we just get maybe one reason check to find an efficient route? And this is effectively like an encounter check. Like, will there be some random, unforeseen, jump out of the road badness as Mangang leads y'all on trails that don't necessarily look like trails to you, but I mean, Mangang's cool. Like, he knows the trails.
I'll let Mangang do that.
Oh, what did you want me to roll?
I think reason, but also if this is really just like you are picking your way through the woods, looking for an efficient route that you're not going to be too tired and you're not going to get ambushed.
Okay.
You could roll will, actually. I'll say
Oh.
you live here, whatever, sire.
What is my best thing? Oh, yeah, will is my best thing.
yeah, I was gonna say you're like one with the woods. You just passively perceive it.
We got a 9.
Great.
He's got found a cool stick. Got a cool stick. He's going up, these little trails that only he knows about.
Jen and a 9, everybody has a cool stick.
Yeah.
And just for the travel scene, everybody has a bird. There's just there's a little bit of a bird gang following you. You make it up. You're coming back down the lowlands. You're making great time. I think probably that does take a better part of the day, but it's not even near dusk when you're coming down toward beyond your caves to the sea caves. And so you can approach however you want to approach, but basically you're looking at not the tidal basin beyond, but there's sort of dunes and then light tree cover, sort of woods, and then there's like another sort of sunken area that's sort of semi filled in with water, and off to the side are some caves, and all around are different sort of little, not even hills, but just different areas with rocks and trees of different heights. So it's a little bit of like a lake feel, but it's not even really a lake. It's just sort of a shallow, wet area before you get to really the beach, and there where the cave entrances are. So I think we're going to just do this last sort of approach and then maybe take a quick break. But how are you approaching the sea caves on the north end of the island?
I think trying to be quiet, maybe, and looking out for traps, because if it were me, I'd have certainly set some traps.
Love that.
I think I'm checking the water.
Yeah.
I'm doing a quick dive to see if there's anything in the water, trap-wise. At least to make sure that nothing alerts. His name was like Pierre?
Henri.
Henri.
Yeah.
French. Just to make sure that Henri doesn't know that we're approaching.
Excellent. And Arthur, what does Mary do?
I think Mary's just kind of trying to move sort of quietly. It feels like Mangang already kind of has a little bit of a relationship with this guy. And so he's just kind of hanging out in the background, like trying to be sneaky, essentially.
Excellent.
Unseen.
Why don't we do sort of reverse order? Mary, can you give us can we get a movement check for Mary to be sneaky?
A 10.
Mary is invisible in the there's enough sort of different heights of plants. You're just like in there doing whatever you want all the way up to the cave, whatever you want to do. And Jen, was Mangang kind of approaching more directly as Bowie dives?
Yeah.
Okay. Then Fabian, do you want to roll will for what will or reason, whatever's higher, for what depending on whether you're kind of searching, gridded approach or just kind of generally feeling it out as you dive around?
I rolled 7.
You can tell there's been a fight recently. There's a trickle of blood. And it also again feels off. There's something bad. There's a bad vibe here, but nothing too specific. You can't even really, again, you can't really dive. This is just like you're wading around and looking carefully through like very shallow water. And there's some blood. It looks human. Could be animal of some kind. Jen, Mangang, you approach the cave and do you just yell, "Hey"?
No, I'm also looking around for anything that feels out of place. Do I start feeling bad yet, or is it just?
I think so. I think you around the same time as Bowie, and probably all three of you sort of feel like something's off. And I think you look down, and you see an ear, a human ear, in the gravel before the cave. And I think we're going to take a short break, and we'll come back and find out what happens next. Do we want to say 5 minutes more? What do people feel? Cool. 5 minutes.
Whatever you would like.
All right. We'll just say 8:00 or 9:05.
All can, but they can't. 5 minutes sounds great, and we will be back right around that time to check it out. If you are watching live or if you're watching later on, head on over to the link in the description or that I dropped into Twitch if you want to pick up your own copy of Picaro. Or if you're coming to PAX next week, swing by booth 4143, pick it up along with some other great games by +1 EXP, maybe Dying of the Light, maybe Feast or Verder that Fabs did some work on. Who knows? All kinds of great games there, or on our website over at plus1exp.com. Link directly in the description to go straight to Picaro. We'll be back in about 5 minutes to keep on playing.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And we are live again here on Plus One EXP, back from our break, hydrated and dehydrated, and we're at the right level of hydration. We've moved the levels up and down, however individuals needed to. It's all good now. The bread is in the oven. It's got a few more minutes left on it.
It's rising. It's currently rising.
And we're gonna dive back into play. Wife, take it away.
Sure. So back in this game of Picaro, it's mid-afternoon as you arrive at the sea cave where Henri the ferret has been hiding out for the past week or so, and you found some blood in the water, the shallows leading up to the gravel of the cave, and you found on the ground in the gravel a human ear. It was clear that it was human before. It's a human ear that's been chopped off.
I am gonna use my fun walking stick to pick up the ear and look at it.
Good use of stick. You have the ear. I don't know if how easy this would be to do. Do you want to? You know Henri though, and you know maybe if Henri has earrings and whatnot.
Yeah, I've seen him before. Definitely.
You're pretty sure this is Henri's ear. It's got a little stud in there.
Something bad happened in here. And I turn around and show the ear to Mary.
Whoa!
Child hidden in the bushes.
Yeah. You just hear "whoa" come from off in the bushes.
At this point, I'm like, this is not good. Should we go in the cave? It might be dangerous.
This is kind of a gross question. Does it look like it was torn off or cut off?
Ooh, good questions.
Good question. It looks like it was cut off with something sharp. It doesn't look blown off or torn off. Without going into detail, you can kind of make a rough guesstimate. You've seen, you've butchered animals, seen stuff like that. If you want to go forward, you can see that the cave is kind of eye-shaped, and it sort of leads back and back. It's pretty low, and just keeps going in that direction. And then it sort of goes down into darkness, and you know that eventually some parts of it will be flooded and also branch out. And maybe Mandang would know that, sort of down to the left, there's a bigger area which you could easily swim to. It's not very hard to do, where there's be a room that's large enough to sleep in. You don't know about the rest of the caverns necessarily. You could roll for it, but you would know the layout a little bit. So let me know what everyone wants to do to sort of, in terms of approach.
I'm gonna pick up a rock and throw it in there and see if it makes any sounds.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm standing at the mouth of the cave, like off to the side, holding the ear on a stick, like
you fling a rock.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna roll for it. We're just gonna randomize this and see what happens. Nothing happens.
Oh. And I look to Bowie and Mary, like, should we go in there?
I'm wheeling and dealing. I'm gonna do another scream while we're standing here. I'm gonna
What?
find this man.
Oh, I never rolled for track, by the way. We didn't use it.
Oh, sorry. I was just letting you track all the way to, like, he's in this cave. So you know he's somewhere in the cave.
We know he's in the cave.
Oh, we know he's in the cave. Okay.
He's in the cave. Did you
I
want
don't
to
know
pinpoint or something, like really get a sense of
it's helpful if you want to do it again. Go ahead. Yeah.
Maybe let's get a little bit further in the cave before I do this. See how deep it goes, I guess. But yeah, if you're holding the ear, I think Mary will kind of scamper out of the bushes and go, "That's so spooky. Are we going
really
inside?
Spooky. Do you think we're gonna meet this ghost? I'm actually excited.
Whoa, what if the ghost is here?"
Yeah, we can talk to him.
Okay.
I put the ear in my pocket.
Great. Excellent. You proceed back, and as you lose the light a little bit, feels the same level of spookiness. We know that Mary is very quiet. No one can hear Mary. Are either Bowie or Mandang trying to sneak, or you're just kind of walking in cautiously?
I don't know. How do you feel about this?
I think I'm doing like a cautious entry, like not necessarily being stealthy or anything.
I think we're all just moving slowly and cautiously and looking and listening.
I'm more concerned about any form of like traps above the water than anything else.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, you've looked pretty carefully and you don't see traps. You do see, I think, Bowie notices that this is very well covered up. It looks like no one has been here for a while. There is no obvious sign of human habitation, which is kind of hard to reproduce. And I think you both, and Mandang, obviously, in terms of tracking, you're sort of impressed that this person has taken a lot of care to like not have things disturbed in a way where obviously there's like the ash of a cigarette, right? Or like, a limerick scrawled on the walls, because always writing dirty limericks. But no, none of those here. So as you walk back, there really doesn't seem to be anything out of the ordinary other than this sense of foreboding in this ear. And there is like a blood trail that leads back. So it seems like there was a scuffle outside and then person retreated.
I point to it without saying anything and just kind of follow it.
You go back, you've hit the area where it's pretty far back and down, and now it is just like water. You can see into the water. Maybe you'd find some amount of swirling blood atop the water. It's still dark. You know that it goes down a little bit to the left and opens into a bigger chamber, and you don't really know beyond that.
I'll just take us as far as I know, yeah. We hear just like drips and like
roll
cave silence. Like, is
roll will. Everyone can roll will to just stand there and just be like, what I got. It's dark and still. It's really, I don't even think you'd hear dripping necessarily. Maybe lapping of water somewhere, but not in front of you.
I got an 8.
8?
A 6.
Got a 3.
Well, 2 successes. You definitely feel that something is beyond through the water. I don't know, maybe it's a refraction of light, because it's very dark, but there's still just enough light, and the water isn't that deep or far. You just have to kind of go under and come back up. So there's something on the other side, like standing there.
Standing?
You sort of can see the refraction of like a figure on the other side of the water, just waiting.
I just start muttering to myself, like, there's no problem, no hay problemas, pague problem. And I just start smiling my way, proceeding through the cave.
Great. Do you want to dive under and come up in the larger cavern beyond?
Yeah, I'm like, this is the only way through. And I go right in.
Awesome. Everybody roll initiative, roll movement to be in initiative as you emerge on the other side.
Initiative?
Okay. It's
I'm
a 10 on
these-
movement.
10 is very fast.
I'm a little guy.
I got a 5.
I got a 9.
Great. Well, you're all very fast. You're all fast enough to avoid any sort of ambush here. So, Mary, you act first. You see Nengang go under, and you can wait and sort of act later, or if you want to just act now, you can.
Can I see anything in the water?
It's not really, just that it's disturbed and Mangang swimming down and is disappearing underneath into the other room, and the light is changing. It's the afternoon light is coming in, and it's sort of hitting the top of this water, and you can kind of use that to try to make out shapes beyond, but it's a little hard to see without going in.
Sure. I'll go in after Mangang.
Okay, great. I'll slip into the water, swim under. You see Mangang's coming out, and standing at the water, not specifically looking for you all is a skeletal figure
Whoop.
in rotting clothes with an old-timey sword, an old saber at its side. And it's not really paying attention when Mangang emerges. But it is Bowie's initiative next.
I would have went under and over, and I see the same thing. What else do we see apart from that?
Yeah, you're in a large sort of bubble of air beyond. And you can see off to one side, there's further smaller tunnels that go down. One goes sort of forward and down, one goes kind of back and down, so like north and south. And the room is strewn with rocks. There's sort of these different size, smooth rocks from over the years, different water levels having eroded. And in addition to the skeletal figure who's slowly turning, wearing big boots, old-timey garb denoting some sort of office station in some navy, and maybe even has remains of a hat, but it's just like a quarter of a hat kind of like stuck in part of its fractured skull. Beyond that, on the ground is a body that matches Henri the ferret.
Oh.
And you hear, I think you hear a low moan, but it's very low. It's sort of like, sounds like someone's dying, bleeding. All three of you with your initiatives can act first. So if you want to all attack, this would be a great time because you're all acting before the skeleton.
Oh, do I want to attack? Do we want to attack as a group, or
This is a skeleton, right?
I'm not sure what it is.
It's desiccated. Now it's been waterlogged, but it is a human who has been looks undead, you could say. And yeah, their skin is mostly rotted away. They're mostly a skeletal figure.
I was just asking to see if I could just steal a bone to incapacitate this skeletal figure.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, you wanna
Go for it.
grab a bone.
I want to grab a femur. Yeah. How do I do that? Do I do roll combat for that?
Yeah, we're gonna say that's a grapple, so you're rolling combat, and it's basically this person is gonna wrestle like they don't want you to grab their bone off. So they're going to try to dodge. But if you get a tie or a higher number, then you kind of wrestle them down. And I'll say instead of damage, you can sort of incapacitate them, make them unable to move.
I rolled a 7.
I rolled a 4. So Bowie jumps out and grabs the skeleton, wrestles them to the ground, and you like unlock a bone from the leg. And they are sort of trying to stab you, but you've got like control over it.
Yeah, I wave it in front of them.
They don't make noise. They just are clacking at you. And you feel that same vibe. Like this is just deeply wrong, like deeply unnatural. What are Mary and Mangang doing? Since you all act, you each can, get an action in.
How far away would you say I am?
You're all very close. You're a few feet away.
From the body.
10 feet.
Okay. I'm just gonna quickly slip. I'm gonna burn 3 grit and slip to approach what I think is Henri.
Yeah. What does it look like when you slip?
So for people who don't know what slip is, I can burn 3, 6, or 9 grit without moving. I travel a short distance. Depending, how much I burn, I can just appear when I slip. So I'm just like a wet person coming out of the water, and then all of a sudden I just like blip over to where Henri is, and I'm kneeling when I come back.
Yeah, Henri has been stabbed multiple times and has had his ear chopped off.
And
his hand is also bleeding badly. He stopped, the save with his hand. He's bleeding from multiple places. He's bleeding out.
Oh, I take out his ear. I go, "You lose this, my friend."
If he were conscious, he would probably laugh. The gallows humor.
Okay, he's not. He's not paying attention. And I like hold it up to his head to make sure, because I'm not a smart person, And I'm like,
it fits.
I'm like, "My brother, you opened the jar. You had to open the jar."
You can begin administering a next round. Slip is standard, so your action is to kind of move and talk to him and assess him. We'll say.
Yeah.
You think you might be able to help save his life, but he's lost a lot of blood. He's on death's door.
Yeah, so I'm kneeling by him and trying to tend to him.
What is Mary doing as there's a fight with the skeleton and there's Henri dying behind?
So a fun fact about the orphan is your combat is a D4. So there's really not a whole lot I can do to help with the skeleton. By dint of the class I have. Can I run over to the body and try to start? The secondary class power is called Mimic.
Ooh.
And I would like to mimic apply balm from the leech.
Oh wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Once per session, you can use a power you don't know based on something presumably you've seen, like an adult do, or in this, another person do. So you've seen the one barber in town, the one sort of doctor surgeon character who helps out people, break a leg, pull something, doing some hard labor. There's duels, there's stabbing. There's a lot of stabbing more than shooting, but they're shooting too. You jump out and you're like, I'm pretty sure I can help here.
Sure.
So
Mary runs over and goes, I saw the doctor barber surgeon do this, and I haven't tried it before, and I don't have cotton, but this should work, and starts pulling moss from the side and just stuffing it in wounds. It's a 2-round action, so
Okay.
starting now.
So
Yeah.
at this point, I'm gonna back off. All right, kid, you got it.
you let Dr. Child start stuffing moss into all the stab
Dr.
wounds.
Baby.
Dr.
Dr.
Baby.
That's great. You needed to restore 1 wound, and apply balm allows you to burn 4 grit. So you do need to burn 4 grit, and then they recover. Or no, you've used Mimic, right? So you
Mimic, yeah, you don't pay the base grit cost.
Great. So Henri recovers a wound over 2 rounds. So assuming he doesn't die the next round, he's back. The skeleton is going to try to throw off Bowie. So Bowie, you're going to have to resist here. Roll a 6. So you need a 7 or better if you want to keep grappling on combat, or to just jump back and be in a safe position. You could roll movement. So whether you want to maintain the grapple is kind of up to you.
I'm gonna roll movement.
Okay.
8.
Great. Then you are free and clear with the femur. So I'm going to give the skeleton disadvantage to dodge here, but the skeleton's hopped up on a leg, propped himself up with the saber, and is doing a tornadic spin, a very off-balance spin.
Very
attacking.
dervish.
Yeah. But that was their action, was just to sort of shove you off very hard. Mary, it's Mary's initiative on 10.
I'm still doing my 2-round action.
Absolutely. You hear
He's
a gasp.
you're gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
You hear a string of expletives in French as Henri sort of regains consciousness.
Oh, my friend is back.
It's so, you know what? I think it's kind of funny. I think while this is all happening, Mary kind of slid across the room to get this done. I think the scarf on his face drops a little bit. So this Frenchman who just came back to to consciousness sees a gray, featureless face going, "It's okay. No,
Oh
it's
my
okay." It's patting him.
Horrifying.
Horrifying. Just praying. He thinks he's in maybe purgatory at best. He's like, I hope this is just purgatory. So he's just trying to breathe, right, and not lose consciousness again. Bowie, it's Bowie's initiative.
To keep the skeleton away from my allies, I'm gonna grab a few rocks and start juggling the femur with the rocks and drawing him away from it.
Great. Yeah. I mean, if you just want to basically be ready to parry, you're distracting and you're just not trying to take damage but distract the skeleton.
Yes.
Then I don't think you have to necessarily do anything here. You just actively defend yourself and you get a bonus on dodges. You get a +1 bonus to dodge.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Great. Mangang, you see that it looks like Henri may recover thanks to baby doctor.
Yeah. I pat his shoulder very lightly, and I'm like, "So you decided to join the land of the living again?"
Oh, wait, is that you, Monsieur Mangang? You are.
It's your favorite person, Man Gang, the
How did you-
asshole.
How did you find me? You're such an asshole. Who comes to a secret hiding place without having been told a secret?
Ah, I know everything on this island. Anyway, I'm gonna take care of this jar that you opened.
Oh, fuck. He immediately remembers and starts looking around for it. And there's no jar in this cavern.
Ooh.
Right.
There is the skeleton, and he is very afraid of the skeleton. The skeleton beat him up and almost killed him. So he sort of recoils in horror, realizing he's not in hell or purgatory or whatever. He's just like, injured, and there is a skeleton still trying to kill people, if not him.
I will see you in hell, but it will be a long time from now. And
Not
I get up-
today.
yeah, not today, skeleton. And so I get up from kneeling, and my walking stick is now my weapon. I twirl it expertly, and I'm going to use Berserker's Strike.
Let's do it, Jen.
Yeah.
How does that go down?
Okay, I'm going to burn 4 grit, so I have 15 left. And this is kind of part of my my class as a dancer. When I attack, I can attack with any non-bullet throwing missile weapon, like a bow or a javelin, and I never run out of it, whatever it is, which is very exciting. So I'm going to use my move instead of my combat for this, which is hilarious. But Berserker Strike specifically is burn 4 grit to automatically hit a target. And then I have to roll to see how effective that is.
Yeah, so you could do much more damage or less damage and break the weapon. So it's sort of you just like freak out and just hit something as hard as you can.
Yeah, so I'm twirling it with one hand and then just like lunge back and throw it like a javelin toward the skeleton's chest.
I love that your infinite weapon, by the way, is sticks as opposed to like arrows for your bow. It's like, no. I'm just there's always a cool stick.
There's always a cool stick.
Great. How many wounds do you inflict on this automatic hit?
Let's roll this d6 and look. Oh, it's a 6.
Woof.
Tell us how you permanently kill this undead.
I didn't know if I meant to
ages
kill
ago.
it. Kill it.
It doesn't seem real talkative anyway.
All right. Well, the javelin is moving in slow motion, and I can already see it's gonna hit its target. And so I start celebrating early, and I start doing a little dance. And the javelin makes its way to the center of the skeleton's chest. The momentum is so strong, it pins him against the soft rock wall in the back.
Nice. Yeah, the skeleton is broken up somewhat, maybe still active, but somehow pinned against the wall, just perfectly, in between 2 big rocks through the skeleton, just like it's making as much motion as it can, but it can never get off here. It'll kind of rip itself apart with the effort before it will meaningfully be a skeleton that can attack you. Mm-hmm. You're all fine and able to chat with Henri, who is very wounded, has 1 wound in game terms, but is alive. And there is no jar here. There's only this 1 undead sailor.
Cool. First, I find another stick, and I hold it, and I help prop him up. Like maybe we kind of drag him to a wall to kind of like have him lean up.
Oh, yes. Oh, my stick. Yes. Help yourself. My cool stick that I have down here. Thank you, Mangang. I owe you my life. And thank you. I think I've seen you around the fish guy and the child.
Fishman.
Fishman.
Yes.
Dr. Child. Barber.
Dr. Baby.
Dr. Surgeon Barber.
Dr. Baby Mary. And this is my associate, Bowie.
Mary and Bowie. Yes, I know. Yeah, I know these names. I am Henri, and I am forever in your debts. What is that thing?
We
were just about to ask you.
You didn't open the jar.
I did not open the jar. Several of them came toward me, and one of them got the jar, and I made my escape, as I am often want to do. But it seems I've suffered. He's sort of gesturing as he's sitting on a rock. You're helping propped up. He's like 16 or so serious injuries. So I
And
would
don't
have
forget
succumbed.
your ear. Don't forget your ear. Here it is.
Oh, 17. 16 and a half. You don't actually need the fleshy part to hear. He's about to pass out again. He's like kind of delirious.
Like delirious.
He's in and out. What are you asking? What do you want to know from him?
You go ahead.
Where
Beth.
did they come from?
I was, as one does, out at this stream where I take a piss, look around, enjoy the day, and they came for me earlier today, the middle of the day. They came out of nowhere from the woods, from the coast, from further down. He sort of gestures north, down toward the coast. And there were, roll for it, there were 6 of them.
6.
6. This is one? More than one? Looking at bones. 1, I think.
They didn't
But
say
they-
anything?
They don't talk a lot. I was mostly screaming, "Oh no," and "Please get away from me." But then I ran, and they caught up to me eventually around here. I fought them out there a little. That's where I lost. Wait, he realizes something. How do you know about the jar?
Well, sometimes we have jobs and people ask us to find things. You know how it goes. I was going to ask you nicely.
Are you cool with Henri like that? Does he think you're all in like the same world?
I think I'm cool with Henri. I don't know if he does, if he thinks he's cool with me. I think that's just how Mangang is. Like, he thinks everybody's cool.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's then he sort of like realizes at least something about the situation.
Mhm.
And says, "Look, all I know is I was with a group that was targeting just some rich people down in Port Royal and Ascension and beyond. There was a rumor of a wizard, a witch, and this person had a powerful item that could raise the dead or something, and it would be worth a lot of money. So I stole it. But it is very, how do you say, painful to hold, even. And I brought it back here, and I've only dreamed horrors, like being trapped inside a. He looks for the word and describes being trapped, like inside a clam, or maybe inside the twisted whirl of a whelk or conch. And he can only dream. It's all sort of in green now. It's like all green tinted. And he can't really sleep. So he's sort of like ambivalent about almost dying just now and losing the thing it's a fortune that he stole. He's like, fuck that thing.
Did you see the direction that the other skeletons went?
They came from the coast, and they went back to the coast. Presumably the water?
The coast by the port or the northern coast?
He describes the northern coast. He knows this area very well. Maybe not as well as Mangang, but he's lived out here on and off for years now. When he's not sort of in town, when he's not elsewhere, he enjoys the solitude. Actually, he doesn't want to be locked down to city life. And he tells you sort of where he thinks directionally. You can probably find tracks, but it would be the northern coast.
Okay.
And he honestly, he does not know much. He says he does not know anything about magic, certainly not necromancy. You could always guess that he's lying and, rough him up.
No, I don't want to rough him up.
It's not my
We're gonna
business.
sneeze in his direction and he dies.
Have an infection.
Yeah, seriously. Here, my friend, have a little bit of beef jerky. I know it's a little wet.
It's
He's
easier
very
to chew that
appreciative.
way.
Yeah, it is
I
easier
don't
to
think.
chew.
Yeah, I don't think you're well enough to go back through that water and make it back to your beautiful Delphine.
He does want to leave now, since he doesn't have a reason to be hiding, other than he realizes something else. He says, "Wait, do you know who knows that I took the thing?"
Oh, there's some rich guy asking us to find it.
Horseman.
Oh, a horse guy. Yeah, this is bad. This is bad.
Does
Do you think you can help me get out of here? Like, leave?
Do you know the
Tortuga?
horse guy?
I know the horse guy.
Oh. Okay.
He spins a yarn, if you'll listen, about gambling debts and basically trading up, selling his debts from one crew of pirates to another, through complicated early multi-level marketing scheme style. You just help me do this one thing, and he has ended up with this crew of really elite, brutal robbers, who are sailing at night, no flags, stealing from the rich, stealing from any navy, one life to live. And he cleared his debts. He somehow successfully got it all to hinge on him stealing this artifact, and they were going to sell it. And then there was that night, and that last card game, and that last bottle of rum. And as they put to port in Tortuga a week ago, the decision to fuck it, just take it for himself. So he is less worried about the necromancer and his small, very small, dozen or so army of soldiers, and much more worried about the pirates.
See, my question
whom
now
he owes
is,
thousands of silver.
is it worth saving you?
Listen, I have nothing to offer. I'm dying on a rock
No,
inside a cave.
I just don't want to swim you across and then you gamble away your life again. I think that's a
Oh,
waste.
no. No. I can't pretend to be the best Christian, but I cannot ever go back to a life of piracy, because I don't think there's any pirates who don't want to kill me at this point. My plan, he thinks about it long and hard. He's like, tobacco requires a lot of labor and knowledge. I'm just going to grow beans. And he starts listing, he loves gardening, and he knows a lot about green beans. He just wants to be a farmer now. He wants to retire from a life of crime.
Okay.
If we go to wherever Mangang sent that bird,
Oh, yeah.
I might be able to help you get to Port Royal in the morning.
Yeah, he would trust Mangang's hideout, and Mangang would know probably how to make sure it's pretty secure.
I have to tell you, there is a tenant.
It's okay.
Someone
we're gonna
we
be friends.
trust?
We're all gonna be friends.
I just have to warn you, you have open wounds. I'm just saying.
Oui, c'est bon. I will treat it the way I treat every problem, with enough rum. You'll come out fine eventually.
Oh, we don't worry about you hurting it.
It's it hurting you.
Exactly.
Oh, great! His face falls. He's on his last legs here.
It's fine. It's fine. We'll bring you there.
It's a large bird, but it will be nice
of.
to you if you don't move too quickly.
I'll give you some fish bones to feed it or choke it. I don't know. It seemed either way.
And it's so cool. I've never seen an animal like it before. It's gonna be my best friend.
It's okay. Palosu will take care of you. It's my bird.
He isn't sure what of this is dream and what of this is nightmare and what of this is just maybe he's already got an infection setting in. He sort of is going to go along with whatever you propose at this point. He's putty in your hands. What do you want to do? This will have potentially impacts on game 2 in terms of
Okay.
above the table, Henri the ferret and his debts, the griffin, the seagull griffin in your home, and the trail of the skeletons who've made off with Jost's jar.
I want to take him to the front of the cave, and then I'm gonna whistle. I whistle really loudly. It's like a very weird warbly whistle. And Pana the horse it comes out of the bushes.
Such a good horse, just waiting patiently.
Very good horse. Okay, Pana, no more hide and seek. No more hide and seek. And so this white horse with black speckles on his back, it's got a really cute black mane and like almost like a pompadour. It's like it looks like he's smiling too.
So charming.
Yeah. Okay, Pana, you're gonna take this guy home.
This is a horse from the Shrek universe.
Yeah.
Literally.
The horse whinnies, accepts a rider slowly, gently, as you've trained Pana to do, and steps off carefully through the woods. Making sure not to basically bonk him against a low branch, but also being careful of rocks and whatnot, and mud, and just is going back off through the woods, as you've done many times, hauling stuff from the shore to home.
I just yelling back like, I get a share of your bean crop.
Wait. All right, you're gonna hope that works out. Where are the three of you gonna go as your horse delivers the delirious Frenchman to your cave?
Can we look for skeleton tracks or anything? Decay?
100%. You don't even have to roll, as you realize there would be like boot marks of 6 sailors.
That's a lot of people, yeah.
Yeah. And you find them, and you can sort of follow them into the woods, as Henri said, sort of headed north over the last bit of woodland, scrubland, toward the dunes and toward the beach. There they would just be sort of walking across sand. The clues would be a little harder, but I think you all are pretty good at this. You have some sort of combination of skills, and you know the area, so you find it. Dusk is falling though at this point, so the sun's going to set, and you're out on the beach, walking toward the water, following the trail, but you're going not due north into the water, but just kind of like northwest, like along the shore. What is your plan as night falls? Do you just follow the trail as far as it goes?
Yeah, I
Sure.
think so. Well, we want to get paid.
Excellent.
I want to steal that boat.
Yeah.
You follow it out until you see on the horizon a large boat with no flags at sea, but close enough boats could quickly row ashore. That's where the trail seems to be headed. And night, we'll say night has fallen now. The moon is rising, and you see this probably a pirate vessel. Not at harbor, just out in the water. It's a far swim, but you could swim there, but they would use boats.
I think I'm gonna hide behind like a like a tree, and like we're just gonna observe a little bit. Is there any movement?
Yeah, are there lights
there's-
on? Or
You're at a stretch where there's not a lot of there's not a lot of cover. There's just sort of a flat sandy beach down to the water. So I'm not sure how do you go about making like a blind where you can park yourselves and do a stakeout? Because I love this idea.
Yeah.
But it's a little unnatural.
Sure. Let's see. I don't know. What do I have? Maybe I'm just in the water, kind of like army crawling, just on my belly. Like,
Love it.
oh,
So you're all like in the surf.
My jerky. Just
Makes
like
total
We're in the
sense.
shallows.
just in the break of it, like
Yeah.
where it's like lightly lapping and just kind of like
Yeah. Little crabs skitter around, waves lap, tide's going out. It'll come back hours later. You know the rhythms. This is very normal, and it's not too unpleasant. It's not freezing cold. It's a little cold, lying there in the water at night. And indeed, you see that the boat is just been the whole time. It doesn't take too long to realize this. So you can decide within 15 minutes, right? Okay, we know what's happening. It looks like they're going to leave. They're pulling up. There's a couple outer boats that are getting pulled up. You can't really see; it's pretty far away. So it's humanoid figures, but at this distance, you couldn't really make out if it's a person or some sort of undead version of a person. But there's human crew that is pulling up everything, pulling anchor. They're going to set sail.
oh snap.
shoot.
Can I do, knowing that they're pulling up anchor, I'm going to dive and kind of make their anchor snag on something.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, just try to get there before like 2 big anchors, and you're gonna spend time messing up one of them so they can't really get away. That's great. Do you want to not get caught? In which case, I would say you need to roll movement and get a 6 or better.
Sure, I'll do that.
Can I give a motivational to aid in this? Like, is there some kind of advantage you
speech?
can get? Yeah.
You could give a help action for a +1. So when Fabian rolls, he gets a +1.
Yeah.
But you know, is the idea that you're just really good at it's just a straight motivational speech?
Yeah.
I do want to hear the speech.
I kind of want to hear the speech, Jen.
Mangang is just serious. He gets up on one elbow in the water and it's just, Bowie, you're named Bowie for a reason. You are the best swimmer out of all 3 of us, and you can catch that boat.
All right.
We're gonna send
plus
all
one.
the prayers. We're gonna send all the voodoo. We're gonna send all of it, all of the luck, and you can catch that boat.
I got a 13.
Let's go.
Whoa. I mean, on a 13, I feel like they have no idea what's going on, and this boat is not going anywhere as long as you want. Basically, you've tangled lines for hours in a way that feels perfectly naturalistic. And you would have also on a 13, I'll just say, and you were silent swimming around and under the boat. There's a mixed crew of humans who are alive and humans who are dead, all different time periods dating back 200 years, from all over. And they're speaking they're mostly using sign language. They're mostly silent, but the humans speak to each other in a patois of Spanish and some other languages. Spanish, English, Dutch, French, West African languages of various kinds, Arabic, and some Arawak, and they're just like about 100 pirates, many of whom are undead.
You said 100?
Maybe not 100. There's several dozen that Bowie sees, so it depends, I guess, the density on this ship. But they are just trying to untangle this line, and divers are jumping in. And they're going down with you. So you've hidden yourself very well on that 13.
I turn to Mary and I go, should I call that guy? Should I call the man and tell him his jar is leaving? Do you think he'll still pay us? Yes.
Are you planning on running all the way back to
Oh no.
Granola?
I don't need to run. And I take out a tiny whistle.
A whistle build that you've gone with. Yes.
I take a tiny whistle, and it's like a little melody, and it goes, Palasu.
Your hawk flies towards you
And
quietly.
I whisper it to it, you're gonna go to this guy, the one that looked like weird and rich, and you're gonna find him, and you're gonna tell him to take his weird walking boat all the way around the island to the North Shore. So I relay this to the bird.
How does the bird explain it to other people? This is part of the magic of the dancer, that you can make the bird somehow.
Oh, don't worry. I taught it Morse code.
Oh, nice. It could tap out the answer. Love it.
And I go, fly, Palasu.
Yeah, it's gone. Palasu's gone. They're high above, flying very quickly, those kilometers straight across the hills. What are the rest of you doing? And also, especially, what is Bowie doing as you're hidden but observing that you can't breathe underwater? So you're needing to come up. You found maybe some area where that's easy, and you're tangled up in ropes or something. They can't see you, but there are divers who are slowly undoing this anchor that you've painstakingly fouled, in a way that looks natural.
Can I splinter cell, I don't know, tie them up, make it harder for them to go up for air?
Ooh.
Yeah, absolutely. This would be, again, if you're not directly attacking but altering their environment, I would say it's another move check.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna let them roll to to see if they notice that there's someone around. But you did get a 13 essentially earlier, so I'm gonna set that as a very high difficulty. So they're gonna need to get they're basically gonna need to get the maximum possible result. And I'm gonna say both of them have to get that. So it's very, very unlikely that they notice you. Yeah, they don't notice you. So you can roll move and you won't necessarily be noticed, but you are going to have to get a pretty good result to tie them up both without either of them noticing, before they can act, right?
I
so
rolled an 8.
An 8. Do you want to burn 3 grit to get above
Sure.
a 9 here for a difficult?
Sure.
Excellent.
You hear the echo of Mangang, the best swimmer on Isla Tortuga.
That burst of strength, that Mangang speech burst.
I summon up the power of my ancestors and their hatred for the Spanish, um, for doing what they did to my home.
Yes.
And just like just like tangle them up with like in seaweed and like
Yeah.
tie rocks like on the end, like on the ends of them to make it just heavier.
They realize too late that someone in the dark of the water, as they've unfouling the lines mechanically, chain by chain, they've been tied up while they were untying a different thing that is very heavy and it's dark, and they are freaking out. They're both human. They're living humans, and they're gonna die. They're gonna drown. But they will just not come up, and others will go back in. You further delayed the departure of this
The
vessel.
Philippines sends their regards.
Let's go.
And I start climbing the anchor.
Great. You're going up in the night, in the dark.
I point. I'm like,
And I just like give them like a thumbs up.
Great. That's very, yeah. What are Mary and Mangang gonna do? Are you just waiting for Bowie? Like, did you all have a little like huddle before this plan?
I didn't have a plan other than the bird.
Yeah, I think Mary goes, okay, so the guy with the ship is coming. Maybe he said it was kind of slow, but he's coming. We need to keep distracting them. I'm gonna go
Should we go there?
try and distract them.
Or should we stay here?
Because we haven't done any kind of planning at all, Mary just makes a run for the tree line. I want to try to start a fire, so it looks like there's someone in the woods. So to maybe pull maybe a rowboat or two off to see if they go investigate what's happening in the woods.
Great.
Excellent.
I run the other direction, clanging a small cooking pot that I had on my belt.
When I get aboard, I'm gonna look for the gunpowder and try to set fires on the boat.
Yeah, let's go.
Excellent. So we've running on the beach, clanging, going to the tree line, setting a fire, and then just blowing up the ship.
Yes.
Let's do some rolling. I think the distractions just work, and it's a question of how well they work. But maybe Jen, can you roll charm? And I think, I don't know, Artie, do you think it's more of like building an efficient fire that burns really fast and bright, or is it like making, like I think that's like a technical skill almost, like rolling reason to like quickly assemble as a child body big like fire.
Sure. Could I pitch you on the idea? I'm trying to convince them there's people in the jungle. Could I burn 4 grit and call this a con? I'm telling a lie. I'm making a sort of
like a little fib.
I'm setting up a little con for
little
these
misdirect,
pirates.
if you will.
I think yes, but I think a con even elevates it, because a con is like semiotic, right? You're communicating meaning, and I think then you're using like a smoke signal, like you'd be making up gibberish signals.
Sure.
So it's not just a fire; it's like a fire you're letting out in a certain way that like another gang of pirates would be like, "Ooh, that's meaningful," and they don't know what it is. So yes, I think that just works. Then if you burn 4, that's cool. Like maximum effect. They definitely send, a murder party, or just, a rowboat full of people with guns. Jen, do you want to roll charm? Or probably roll charm for just making noise and being weird. Hundreds of feet down that way.
I'm so good at being weird. I rolled a 7.
You're really good at being weird. You're singing your song. They definitely send a party. It's like they send 2 boats full of dudes. There's 40 people on the beach now, and 20 of them are headed up. Probably 30 of them are headed up toward the smoke, and 10 of them are rushing toward the sound quietly in the dark. They are way behind you, and The smoke signal, it would be pretty easy for Mary to just like Homer Simpson into the woods and get away. I will say, Jen, it's a little harder for a man gang to get away because you're out in the open. So they're just chasing after you in the dark. You have a huge lead. But you are being chased now by about 10 or so pirates.
I'm just, leaping over things and weaving and just running.
Great. Let me know if you at some point you're like, I'm gonna hide, or you're just like, I'm gonna outrun them. Like I own this. I like live here. Like I got this. Let's go to buoy. You climb up into the ship. You've already made a couple big checks here. You're aboard. They are running all over and talking and gesturing. And you see most of the crew is alive. A lot of the skeletons, it looks like the older ones are like kind of falling apart. And they have not just peg legs and hook hands, but like they have to be gaffed together with rope. But they are still functioning. It looks like they're mostly functioning to like move the lines and move the yards, move sails. But they do sort of communicate. They don't seem very talkative. They're not sort of giving orders. There seem to be living pirates doing that. They're gonna get checks to find you if you do anything, but right now you're just in the dark at the fore of the ship, like where the anchors would like with a pile of chain, just like hiding. What do you want to do?
I want to look for a way to get to the powder room, like the cannoneers deck.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go down a level, and you're gonna have to sneak it past at least a couple people who are gonna get a chance to kind of look and be like, "Oh wait, that's not one of us," right? In the dark. But it is night. They are very distracted, so I'm only gonna give them a couple opportunities here.
Well, I could use. Oh no, that's too much grit. Because that would be too much grit. What happens if I run out of grit?
If you run out of grit, you are tired. If you run out of wounds, you are dying, and you need to make a special check, or else you die. But if you run out of grit, you're just really exhausted from all the hard work you've been doing. You can do things like eat a meal and take a rest. So recovery in the game, there's a couple ways to do it. Once per day, you can rest for 10 minutes and recover D-will grit. So that's just you taking like a short like mental rest to kind of compose yourself. A longer rest would be like 5 hours at least, where you eat a meal, you get some sleep, and that's you recovering a wound. And you can also use medicine. So it sort of depends, but if you wanted to take 10 minutes, you could recover D-will grit, or if you have any consumables like you bought basically spirits.
I'll take a 10-minute, like I think it would take about 10 minutes for Mary to run to the what do you call this, to the jungle, and like for Man Gang to draw the attention for the boats to get onto shore. And so I'll take those 10 minutes and let me see what I get. I roll my will and that's how much I get, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, it's a 5. So yeah, I will say with that I should have 2 grit left over. I will vanish.
Nice.
And then look for the powder room.
Mm-hmm.
You're a thief. You've done this before. There's a disorganized at this point, due to the distractions of the shore, group of people who are communicating in different ways. So they're pretty well organized in certain ways, and other ways they're weak points, and you exploit that. You see who's on guard, who's on watch, and you see how to get around them. You don't even have to roll. You just wait here for a beat, take a step forward, wait here for a beat, run, wait. You get down a level to the cannon decks. Mostly abandoned. They're not planning on naval warfare at this moment.
Yeah.
So you have access to their powder.
I'm gonna take some flint, make a little fire, and then like put it on a rag, tie the rag on like above the gunpowder, so that the fire on that rag will burn the rope and give me some time to like get the fuck out.
Nice. Mary, you hear these 20 voices quietly planning their pincer maneuver to attack what they think is a gang of, a small group of pirates communicating with other pirates at sea. Man Gang, you're just being chased. It's a flat out race.
Yeah, I'm zigzagging. I'm parkouring.
You don't have to roll for it because there's a massive explosion as Bowie's in the water, and the ship is on fire. And all of these pirates who are maybe probably going to catch up at some point with Man Gang are just turn and are just running the opposite direction. And the same, they abandon the pincer maneuver. They sort of take a quick look. They're like, "What? There's just some smoke. Okay, whatever." They leave. They leave the woods, and they're all rushing back to the ship. Some of them are skeletons moving more slowly, chattering. Most of them are humans. They have their guns out. They're all saying some version in several different languages. What the fuck? Mm-hmm. Buoy swimming to shore. The only issue with this plan is at some point you're going to run into them. You need to swim kind of pretty far, just along the shore to avoid them.
Yeah.
It's tiring. It's cold. It's dark. You're an expert swimmer. You just did a lot of stuff. There's a lot of adrenaline pumping through you. I'd say you need an easy movement check to just swim without being seen. So 5+.
I'm tailing
7.
these people back also. Like, I know they're not chasing me anymore, but I'm going to still head that way to try to find Mary. I'm going to try to find Mary.
Yeah, what is Mary doing alone in the you may not even know what's going on. You just like distant pop as there's an explosion at sea.
I think Mary was getting ready to kind of take their disguise off to try and scare the shit out of these people.
Yeah.
And sees they've all started running and just goes, "Oh." It's like putting the hat back on and the big scarf and kind of like being a good custodian of the island, kick some sand on top of the fire before go running to try and find the other two.
I feel at a distance you just hear Bowie like yell expletives, like it's just like and you hear a splash, and Bowie's just gonna try and swim the far way.
You make it, even if you at some point are splashing around, they are so distracted, and you swim far enough away, they don't see you, they don't hear you. They're all headed back to their boats. They're headed back to the ship, which is on fire. More pops in the distance, as maybe Man Gang is closest, and you hear it more as a roar, a little firework. So a wall of flame sputters out and down, and there's certain things that are being thrown off that are on fire.
Ooh.
And the ship is just being kind of gutted. They're just trying to make sure the ship does not sink at this point. So the whole cannons are like being pushed out. There's just anything that is like very much on fire that has a wooden base is like fucking. There's other things that they're dumping water on. It sort of depends who's around and what portion of the ship. But this is well planned. They're not going anywhere for a while.
I come to meet Bowie at the water. I'm like, good thinking. Good thinking.
Yeah, and I'm just like yelling other expletives, waving the femur bone that I stole from you.
We do a little pirate dancing cackle, I think.
Yeah, on the beach, the little dance.
Like arm in arm.
Yeah, all three of us.
We don't have anybody. We just set a ship on fire, and we're just excited about that.
We caused some chaos today, and that is all I want.
As you wave the femur in the moonlight, you see it has some of the same symbols, the same kinds of symbols that you were described to you on the jar that Yost wants so badly. And if you're looking in the distance, you see that there are boats leaving the ship still. So the ship is not going anywhere, and the two boats with the key like murder parties are returning.
Oh,
but there's another large rowboat accompanied by a smaller rowboat that just looks like it's full of supplies, just crates, which you can now see finally passing. Behind the boat, it's gone enough left or right where you can see it in silhouette, and it's headed north. And the only thing directly north of Tortuga is a little island. There's a couple little islands, but there's one dead north, Los Palanquinos, the Palanquin Island, and it is headed toward that island in the night. They're going to row for a bit, and as that happens, in theory, Yost's boat will arrive, the submersible that walks. What do you all want to do next? And this will somewhat determine where we break for the evening and resume in 2 weeks for the big finale. But you have some clues here and some options, and you are currently not being chased by any pirates, which is honestly, Fabian, you just rolled really, really, really well. Like
Yeah.
multiple times in a row. You blew up their ship, basically.
That was awesome.
But yeah, so what do you guys want to do? You know, through
I
the
think
night?
before Yost arrives, I think Mary is intelligent enough. I'm gonna show Mary the etchings on the bone. Anything familiar?
I don't have a very good reason.
Me either. I think if we put our brains together and we both stare at it, like, you know, two idiots are
We
better
could do
than
some
one.
magic.
Yeah.
Totally. my reason is a D4, so I would need a
Oh,
full
shit.
action from both
Mine's
of
a
you.
D8. I
And
have
a perfect. Okay.
I got a 6, if that helps anyone. You're
Oh, you
showing
got a
it to
6.
Mary, but I'm the one that looks over.
Yeah,
Totally. Mary's just holding it
because
like,
I understand from my understanding, like,
Yeah.
oh, Dr. Baby
Yeah,
would
Dr.
probably
Baby's the
know.
smartest one out of the three of us.
I
Exactly.
used my single brain cell for the day, unfortunately.
All right, well, with a 6, do I figure anything out?
Yeah, I think on a 6, Mangang has heard stories of this legendary group. There's all the sort of the brethren, the different buccaneers who form, and again, a lot of these are defectors or people who've left different lives under imperial regimes that formed their own laws and their own groups. Some of whom then kind of get rehired. But there's one group that never does any dirty work for the powers. They're purely sort of forces of chaos, and they're sort of legendary. The Brethren of the Beyond. And the idea is the Brethren of the Beyond serve like a different power, not a territorial power on Earth, but sort of an idea of pillage and plunder and just doing whatever they want. And their whole thing is invisibility. They exist at night. They leave. They hide. No one finds them. They don't raid cities. They don't leave survivors. And all you can think is that you're looking at the ship, you're looking at the bone, you're looking at the ship, you're looking at the bone, and you're like, I don't know, this seems pretty close to these stories, dude. Like sort of like the urban legend, but you're talking to a guy named Jacques the Stabber, about, in a dark alley, and you're like, wait a second. So there's sort of a moment of
familiar. Yeah. I'm like, yes, oh, the legend. Oh, I didn't think it was real. I thought it was just a rumor. And I start explaining it to them, and I start motioning with the femur to the boat, and like.
And Jen, Mangang is a witch, right? Is a dancer, is a class that can access the weird, that has some sort of natural ability. So, however you would interpret, I mean, you could feel like this. There is a magic that keeps these skeletons alive, and it's run through this bone at some point. It's no longer running through it, but it gives that unnatural feeling. It makes you feel a little sick to be around. And it seems to sort of track again with the idea of a jar that would have something in it that could summon a ghost.
And while I'm gesticulating and explaining, I think I clock that this other boat is going north. And I get dollar signs in my eyes. I'm like, it looks like they're taking stuff over there too.
Yeah. It's not an island, that anyone necessarily lives on. Maybe there's, a couple people stop there, maybe have a sort of hideaway. Maybe they have even some pigs or, some goats, but
yeah. I just say to the other two, let's not tell the rich guy about that.
We can probably head there now and let the rich guy deal with this, and points over to the boats that are coming to shore.
Yeah. We just got to get one of those.
Excellent. How are you going to get a boat? What is your boat plan in the middle of the night on the beach?
Well, how far away are we?
Pretty far, like boat distance. You're hundreds of feet away. Like you're not. There's no boat close to you. You could definitely swim back out to the ship. There are sailors doing things, but you could again try to sort of sneakily sail around. Maybe unmoor a rowboat, grab it. You could go back to town. You could just try to swim it. It's just kind of far to swim.
I think it's too far to swim. Bowie's been swimming enough. What do you think? Should we go back to town, or should we sneak over there and I can slip into a boat? But you would still have to go around.
I think going back to town might be our best bet.
You know somebody.
I bet
with a
we could
boat.
find a boat in town.
You can find a boat.
Totally.
Yeah, we can steal a boat in town.
Okay, back to town.
Awesome. So night has fallen, night is deepened, things are on fire, fires are being put out, and we see our three Picaros trekking back up into the hills toward really Mangang's like, happy place, being in the hills, being in the woods, hunting huntable, edible animals, and then coming back down toward town, picking up the trails past the nascent half-built French fort, and down into the sort of one main street where there is still some people out. There's pretty much always some people out doing something fun at night. We're probably, I think, going to end with you all sort of going to sleep, and we're going to pick up, I think, the next day at dawn after some more weird dreams. So get ready to rock us with some weird dreams. But what do we do last sort of night actions? And as you pass, do you try to detour? Do you detour and go to Mangang's cave and check on Henri, or do you just go straight to town?
Ooh,
Up to you guys. I can
do whatever.
Yeah.
If we go to the cave, could I sleep at your cave tonight?
Of course.
Let's just sleep at the cave.
Cool. Because I will
Okay.
absolutely burn another 8 grit to befriend this guy in our downtime.
Yeah.
To befriend the Puma.
The Griffin.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This Griffin's gonna be my best friend.
Okay.
This is relevant. You make it to the cave.
Well, no. Let me tell you how we get to the cave.
Please.
We head to the northernmost tip of the tallest peak, and we look for a weird bush. And you jump over the bush and land on a thicket. And then I uncover a handcart that can seat 3 people. And we have to pump our way to the side around the mountain on a treacherous, very skinny track that I built myself. And it leads directly to the mouth of the cave.
I like that Mangang has like a Donkey Kong Country like hobby of just like building push cart, like hand cart tracks
Totally.
around that only you know about. This is
Yeah.
very cool. This
Yeah.
is very cool.
So we get to the cave.
It's also a cool interpretation of a witch, is like you're so into nature that you can have your own sort of amusement park movement through nature that is not, it's not intrusive, it doesn't harm anyone, right? You make it to the cave, and Henri is fast asleep. Henri is like really tired. The Griffin is getting ready to alight and fly away when it sees Mary, the only human it sort of trusts, and sort of makes a cooing noise and sort of waits like, okay, I was going to leave, but
Hello, I'm so excited to see you. And Mary gets real close and like gives it a big old hug.
I bow.
Oh.
I'm bowing. I'm bowing. And I'm moving slowly. And I'm putting my hands up.
what does it look like when Mary befriends? Like tame is like maybe the wrong word here, right? Like becomes companions with a clearly intelligent, predatory, 7-foot long magical beast that views you as a companion.
I think that Mary I think like it is kind of, Mary is just like a little silly, and I think like the Griffin can kind of sense the weirdness about Mary, this like sort of stuff that scares people away. And so the two, like, maybe there's a little bit of just like companionship there. And like it is, I think, just like a very silly kind of like they're playing hide and seek with a predator. Like it's like they're in the cave and kind of like, I don't know, I just being close, and kind of after tiring it out, the two of them settle down to just kind of like Mary is leaning against it as almost like a bed. Kind of.
Oh,
Right.
Hey.
Great. It was gonna leave, and you can tell it was had some directionality, it had some intent, but it is now just kind of like, I guess I live here at least part of the time. Like this is a roost, and it is curled up. It also after some activity, stamps around and just takes another nap. Say, whatever, I guess I'll sleep now instead of being active. Anyone else do you all sort of slumber, eat, drink, recover wounds, and pool? Grit.
So important. I am going to eat a lovely little colorful piece of fruit to get some grit back. And I mean, it's a one shot. I'm gonna also eat a little piece of toffee I have tucked away.
Yay.
Nice.
So I am able to get 5 grit back from all of that.
So we have an ET that looks like a child sometimes, wrapped up in cloth, in lots of clothes, sleeping next to the seagull griffin after eating some toffee, going to bed. How do we close out the night on Bowie and Mangan? What is is there some low whispering adult planning of moves, or just like, we're tired?
No, I'm so happy that people have visited my home. Like, I'm not like a hermit. I'm a hunter, so it's like, I want to show people my trophies. So there's like antlers, there's pelts of every animal I've ever caught. At least one sample. And then I have like a very surprisingly clean and organized like shelf of jerky. And this one is the fish that you gave me, and then this one is, and I'm just nerding out.
I think Bowie's just placating and is like, yeah, until like just falls asleep.
Yeah. I talk myself to sleep.
Excellent. Well, we are going to pick up next time with your dreams, but I will tell you, it's a free spoiler. Tune in next time. You're going to awaken to the sound of cannon fire back over the ridge over on the North Shore as Yost's walking submersible catches up with the Brethren of the Beyond's great galleon, and they are going at it. And you can hear, it might sound like, again, distant fireworks from where you are, or just echoing reverb, across up the hill, but you would tell, the bird would awaken.
Yeah.
And the griffin would awaken. What the fuck? We'll pick up there with what your 3 Picars dreamed about. Is it filthy lucre? Is it a horrible green goo covering you and feeling like your flesh is changing? Is it the water, the depths of the waves? We will find out. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for playing so much, Jen, Fabian, Artie. This has been really fun, and I really look forward to part 2. And thanks, Tony, for hosting us.
No problem, but we're not done yet, because we're going to do a quick round of stars and wishes. Stars is where people share some of their favorite moments of play. Wishes are where they talk about if they want to get eaten by green goo in their sleep next time. Chat, if you're watching, would love to hear some of your favorite moments for play as we're going along too. Just drop them in the chat also. Does anybody want to go first? Hold on. Wait, no, everybody could hear me that time. I did unmute. Sorry. I did unmute myself again in advance this time. Sorry. I thought I had, and I thought I messed up again. I didn't. All right. Bye. Anybody want to go first?
Oh man. I mean, Fab, with that boat move, like blowing it up, like you did that all by yourself. I'm like,
I need the distraction though.
You had these 2 idiots, like like, okay, yeah, sure. Go off, queen. And then Artie, I didn't know. I didn't read any other pre-gens. Like, I didn't spoil it. So like, I was truly surprised about like what the orphan is. I thought you were gonna be like a little British kid, like kicking rocks and being like, "Oi, mister," I thought you were gonna be like that. But you were so creepy, and I loved it. And I don't know if you've played Stillfleet itself, but there's a character that's like a baghead that doesn't have a face. And so it reminded me a lot of that sort of character class. And those characters can get really freaky, like talk in your brain kind of freaky. And so I'm really excited to see how you use that kind of stuff.
Well, it's so funny because I was kind of going to do the like, oh, I'm a little British child, like, and then we were talking last week, and I was like, oh, these fetch are really cool and creepy, and like pairing that with being this little strange child who shouldn't be in the situation is so perfect to me. I think it's like such a fun idea.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Dr. Baby of like just
Dr. Baby.
like yeah, I can tend to wounds. I think it's really really great. I also like just like big ups to the game itself. It's like it's very simple, it's very easy to pick up.
Mhm.
And I enjoy the things that these little blorbos can do.
Also, Dr. Baby is a perfectly legit Filipino nickname.
Yeah.
Totally.
Oh, Dr. Baby. You
Yeah,
know.
Dr. Baby.
I get 2 stars. Fabian, I loved your dream. I think like that is
Yeah.
one of those like perfect kind of like pirate treasure hunter beats, like and then why bringing it back around with like the dream of being caught in a shell, that was just interesting. I think it was cool seeing the way that you like brought all the dreams back in that we were talking about, but yeah, Babs, you started off really strong with that. And it was just like, it was also perfect because I think it was like, aside from being a really great image, it also centers what the game is about, which is like, we're here for money. Um,
Mhm.
and that was perfect. Jen, this is my first, well, it's my first time playing with literally all 3 of you.
Oh yeah.
But I'm familiar with Fabs, and I have, this is kind of an introduction to Wide as well. But Jin, as a character, you are literally a character.
Yes,
Watching you
it's
play
true.
Mangang was so fun because he is just ready to like be a man of action, and so I think that's so perfect for the sort of swashbuckling, like to kind of turn that on its head and be like, this is someone who's native to the island who is kind of filling the sort of like daring swashbuckling pirate kind of role was really interesting.
Thank you.
And why I had so much fun. I kind of pitched the idea of Tortuga just because I was like, yeah, we're talking about like ideas of colonialism and this kind of like class struggle a little bit. And like Tortuga felt like an interesting choice for that. And I feel like in the past week, you have really like have gotten a good feel for kind of running this game that's a little more geared towards like, I would say towards that like European chainmail fantasy to like, oh, we're doing it in the tropics. And like
Yes.
that's kind of what's going on here. I think like it was I could watch this and have no idea that Picaro is not a game about pirates, and I think that speaks to kind of the universal kind of like aspect of this game that's just about scoundrels and rogues.
Mhm.
Those are on my stars. Feelings, I had so much fun. This was a really fun table and like good first
Yeah.
session.
I do
Yeah.
also want to like add to the comments about Man Gang. I think like I feel like Man Gang is that character that like drives the narrative, and it was really nice to like being able to like just sit back and like get washed away by a wave of like this character. And you did a really good job of like just leading us to where we had to go, and starting these encounters that ended up being so fun. So yeah.
Thank you. I just based it off being a weird Filipino uncle.
Totally.
The one that always has like weird stories and is trying to
Yeah.
swindle people, and it's like, I can get that for free, right?
I love that this is just like a Tuesday for your characters too. You're like, this has been like one day, and you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, like what? Yeah, I'll try this. I'll try to make some money.
Talk to the rich guy, light a boat on fire, let's go.
And I really appreciate all of you went for it and really showed off not just the game, but just the characters. So like, I love that Bowie blew up the ship, and that brought in burning as a dream element very vividly, very naturally to the story. And I love that that Mary befriended the Griffin, which you could fight the wounded Griffin. I mean, they're spoiler, there might be others of them, but I think it's very different to take the time and the energy right in the game to befriend it. And I agree that Mangang really was driving that feeling of like, this is an inhabited world. So thanks for helping build. That's the kind of GMing I like to do. So I really appreciate that y'all got the brief without frankly like much of a session zero. We just here's the rules, here's a setting, we're gonna figure it out. So thanks so much to all of y'all. Do we want to do wishes for next time? Or any other stars or wishes about our second?
My wish is for you to take the wheel. Just give it to me, baby.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. I'm happy with the game so far, and I can't really think of anything that I'm like, I want this to happen. I'm like excited to see what you throw us in.
I'm really excited to see the jar get opened.
Yeah.
That's like
Jar,
a wish
jar,
for me, and I'm
jar,
excited
jar.
for that.
I love
Great.
that all of us immediately agreed that we need to open that
We're
jar.
opening that
Yeah.
jar.
That took no GM pushing to be like, what if you didn't do the job as contracted, but just immediately like open the thing?
Me
like
listening
this
to
guy,
the horse guy.
jeez.
Don't open. Won't open the jar. Won't scatter the ashes. Oh, okay. I'll do those.
Mhm.
Exactly those.
Awesome.
Great.
Uh,
Well, I think that's it, right, Tony?
Yeah. So a couple things real quick. This week we have a pretty light schedule for streaming, but we will be back. What's today? Is today Sunday? We'll be back Tuesday for our next episode of Now You've Seen It. We've got a couple great creators coming on to talk about the connections between their two games. We've got the creators of Midnight in a Perfect World and Twilight Country, two of our previous Zine.Club releases, who are going to come on and interview each other about those creations. Because of time zone needs, it's going to be at 2:00 in the afternoon on Tuesday, which frees us up to be prepped for PAX all week long. We will be off streaming the rest of the week because we will be at PAX. So you should come by booth 4143 if you want to check out Picaro or other +1 games, including Dying of the Light, or including Feast Inverter, or any other number of great games that we have out. We do a cool little build your own bundle thing. So the more games you get, the more money you're going to save. There's also a bunch of other great folks on here who are going to be there. Let's whip around. I believe, I know that Wythe, are y'all over with the studio too? Where can folks find y'all when you're not running games?
So Stillfleet Studio, our distributor studio 2, has a bunch of mini booths. So we have a booth with them, and that's booth 2951, but it's Studio 2. It's a big area in the middle, and Stillfleet Studio will have whole group will be out in force, and Jen, I believe, will be hanging with us, so you can come meet Jen in person and hang out and talk about Fun City and all of the amazing stuff Jen has done, as well as check out our games. Blister Critters, the creators will be there, Tony Grasso, Dance Macabre, so our historical game set a little further back. Zombies, Christopher Pickett will be there, and a bunch of other folks. So please come and say hi.
And then Jen, I think you're also going to be helping out Twice Rolled Tales also too.
I
Is that
am.
right?
I don't have my time yet, but I will be at the Twice Rolled Tales booth as well as the Stillfleet booth. It's going to be a lot of fun. Happy to talk shop, and I might bring some snacks that I made on Gastronauts.
Awesome. Love it.
Hell yeah.
Super excited. Fabs, are you coming down to hang out with us also too?
Hell yeah. I'll be at PAX as well. I'll be in a not a panel, but a workshop. So you want to run your one shot, a crash course of short form gaming. That'll be on Friday, 12 p.m. at the Crab God Theater. If you want to learn how to like run a one shot, you can join me, Ghostlight G, Fish Finley, Mozzarella, Julie, and John teach you and guide you through running a one shot.
Awesome. Super excited about it. Really excited to have everybody with us tonight. Thank you, Logos and HexFX, for the follow. Everybody else for the likes. We will be back in a couple of weeks to finish up this session. We stream a couple times here on +1 EXP. If you aren't following us or you want to check out any of our backlog, head over to youtube.com/+1 EXP to check out all the streams we've already done. We have played literally hundreds of different small independent games. There's tons of backlog over there, short review videos, workshops, panels. If you're a creator, other things like that, you can check out over on our YouTube channel. If you want to support us, the best way you can do that is heading over to RPGZine.Club and checking out what we do over there. It helps emerging designers get their first games into print and play and help support everything we do here on the channel. We'll have some announcements coming about some of the cool stuff. We just crossed over 24 months of doing Zine Club. So we are just in our 2-year
Hell yeah.
anniversary. That's 48 games that have come out through that. Actually, a little bit more than that. It's closer to 50 because of some of the extra titles we've put out. So really huge accomplishment. Huge shout out to Wes, who I know was in the chat earlier, Zine Fiend, for championing that over the last year and a half and really helping drive things forward. Come meet our whole staff, hang out, play games, do fun stuff at PAX. But we will see y'all. My face isn't even up on the screen. I'm just a weird voice chatting people. That's fine. You don't want to see my face. That's not what you came here. We've never figured out a good way to end this stream. So until next time, we're just going to wave at the screen until I take us offline. Night, everybody.